photographer in the fall of 2021 when he was practicing pulling and shooting an old revolver before filming. After a script supervisor sued Baldwin and many others on set for emotional distress, Baldwin countersued against crew members, including Gutierrez Reed, saying she was in charge of handling weapons and ammo. He also sued first assistant.
Cooler? Backward or forward?
I say forward.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got to wear
You
it
look
forward.
like a Fed if you wear it forward.
Do I? I look like I'm trying to be something, don't I?
Yeah, but you
A
kind
little
of
bit.
look like you're trying to be something if you're wearing it backwards as well.
I know. I can't decide because I
Maybe
like the hat.
sideways is the best way.
Yeah, there you go.
That's really saying something.
What if you put it on kind of like crooked and toward the back?
Like that? Like
Yeah.
I'm just like hanging out like my tie's loose,
Yeah, hip
Like I've
hop, you know.
tied on a few. I'm gonna leave it forward right now. It looks a little bit cool. I think
I
it'll
vote
look cool in the
forward.
summer.
All
It's
right.
not really a
All
winter
right,
hat.
Fed.
Happy Thursday.
He is a Fed. Doesn't that make everything make sense?
Wouldn't that be amazing if I dropped something like that on you at some
So,
point?
Fed, that's why I never let you around my dog.
What does that mean?
What?
Feds shoot your dog. It's like they come over to house raid you and then they shoot your dog. That's a
Oh.
Oh,
In gun culture.
yeah, in communist China they do.
Mhm.
All right. Today's YouTube poll is asking straight up, Trump or somebody else?
Ooh, I love that idea because that fits into Wiggins America today.
Ooh.
But do go on.
I don't think that you have that I just read your text now. I don't think you have correct information
I have an article.
from.
I don't know. It's not like
You
a
don't know
deep.
your
It's not a
source?
deep blog. It's just some random
I
article
need
for
to see
somebody.
the article before you do that
Okay.
because I think that.
Well,
think
regardless,
there
I
may be
can
more
bring in some
information to
polling.
that.
What if it's a Ron Paul one?
Yeah, nobody said which Ron.
It's not associated with his campaign.
Wiggins America is up in the air, per usual. 12:25, Hans von Spakovsky will join us. I imagine he's going to be talking about the Biden documents.
You want to push your
Always
dog.
changing, always evolving. 107, Tyrus is going to join us. Can't wait to hear what he says this week. We have a lot in store, some other topics we are going to bring up are just talking about Trump 2024 in general, the high school merit scandal.
Are you talking about the Hill poll? It says he's going to. Is that the poll?
I mean, there's a few. I didn't cherry pick one, but there's.
You're very vague.
I'm looking at.
It makes me wonder if you actually have it.
No, I'm looking at the Real Clear Politics average, mostly, but there's individual ones too. Go ahead.
I'm gonna have you go after time.
Oh, okay.
Don't have anything else.
In 30.
You got live?
In 30.
Okay.
Happy Thursday. Comment on the poll.
Happy Thursday.
Oh,
Are we done? Okay. All right. Bye. Thank you.
By accident. No, it is with a purpose to go after small businesses, employees, and individuals who have not filed or paid their taxes. If this is you, don't panic, just call. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Interest and penalties on your tax bill won't stop until you take control. Call me, Lance Drury. I'll tell you in advance an affordable fee, which includes costs and expenses that works for your business and family. Your first visit to the Lance Drury Law Firm is free and confidential, so you have nothing to lose. Call me today. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
So your insurance is one of those things that you're paying kind of on the background repetitively. It's part of what you budget every month on your mortgage. Your car insurance, however often you pay that, you're not really thinking about it. A lot of times these are automatic payments you're making, and you haven't really stopped to think, am I paying too much for it? Laura Michael Insurance deserves a phone call from you. I trust her with our family's insurance, and I want you to give her a chance to explain from her own personal perspective of over 25 years in the business of helping people exactly like you maximize your dollars with your insurance coverage, which means not spending any extra money that you don't need, but making sure that you have all of the coverage that you require. Laura Michael Insurance in St. Charles is your destination for the correct coverage for you. If you don't know your insurance agent, if you're not happy with your insurance agent, just reach out to her. Let her earn your business. You'll be so incredibly glad that you gave her that chance to sit down, to have that conversation, so you can be confident with your insurance agent for your personal insurance, for your commercial insurance, all of your needs. Laura Michael Insurance is the way to go. LauraMichaelInsurance.com.
This is your chance to join me on a European river cruise this summer. Mark Cox here from my friends at Sunrise Tours. In August, we'll cruise the Danube River with stops in Budapest and Vienna, to name a few. Cabin prices start at just $3,700, including airfare. Plus, you can add a 5-day pre-cruise trip to historic Poland with visits to Auschwitz and the mountains of Slovakia. Call 314-526-3126 or go online to travelsunrise.com.
You don't need special gadgets to be a hero. With unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere, the Capital One Quicksilver Card makes you the hero of every purchase. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Resolve to recycle more. Recycle paper, bottles, and cans directly, and recycle old clothes by donating them. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Coronavirus is just one of multiple inquiries launched by House Republicans. A bipartisan coalition approved a select committee just on China. Some Democrats fear anti-Chinese sentiment.
I worry about things that, just aren't just about competition with China, but are actually anti-China.
But Republicans dismiss those concerns.
I don't intend the committee to be a vehicle for inflaming such hatred. We have no quarrel with the Chinese people.
Other inquisitions, Hunter Biden's laptop, Afghanistan, and the border.
We will give Secretary Mayorkas a reserved parking spot. He will be testifying so much about this.
A House committee just began its probe of the Biden family. The House also approved a committee to fight what the GOP calls the weaponization of government.
The weaponization of government. Thank you, Chad Pergram with Fox News. We're going to be having him on the show a little more frequently as we watch the House Republicans do what they can do with their majority. Interesting news coming out of that said House. The House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, officially ends proxy voting, which was established during the pandemic. It's funny to say like during the pandemic as if that was then and this is now. when will then be now?
Soon. You missed it.
Yeah. You just missed it. This was established during the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Fox News. I'm reading here, to permit lawmakers to vote without being present in person. You would think that the business of the American people, for the very people who are collected in a room to decide said business, that it might be beneficial to be there when you vote.
Yeah. I remember when all this was going on, like, so you thought initially it's like, okay, proxy voting, COVID, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But then you were seeing reports coming out of like representatives voting from their boat on a lake instead of being in Washington doing their job.
It isn't unlike most of working America. You see reports and you hear reports of people working 3 full-time jobs because they're all remote. Is there anything wrong with that? As long as you're getting your job done.
If you're getting the job done and you're doing a good job, as an employer, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, just as long as I'm getting what I'm paying you for, then I'm thinking, okay, I guess. The people who have been sent to Washington, D.C. to do the business of the American people, show up. Can we ask the bare minimum of you to just show up? I think that would be fantastic. No more proxy voting, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said on Thursday, today. Effective immediately, members of Congress have to show up to work if they want their vote to count. I encourage the Democrats to stay home. You just stay put, stay on your boat at the lake, as if only people doing that were Democrats. Of course, there are people on both sides of the aisle that were taking advantage of that, I'm sure. Proxy voting was established by Nancy Pelosi in May of 2020 to allow Congress to operate under COVID-19 pandemic protocols. Instead of showing up for votes, a member of Congress could submit a letter to have a colleague announce their position on bills and amendments and even cast votes in their name. I understand that in the context of May of 2020, we're still really scratching our head and reclusive regarding the COVID-19, the battle that we were waging against this virus. I understand the impact of that, but why in the world would we be doing it in 2023?
I don't know. And then like the other side of that is like one of the things that you and I talked about whenever they were voting on House Speaker was how nice it was to see debate on the floor and they discuss things.
Lively debate.
When you are proxy voting, when you're sending somebody there to vote for you, or you're not involved in any sort of debate. So that kind of gives you an insight into how Washington was functioning.
I kind of want to be a proxy voter who has the ability to negotiate and argue
on behalf.
Like, I don't want to have to like be the person, the representative that is having to do all the work and the campaigning, at least not at this point in my life. But if you could just go on the floor and be like, hey, here's what we think about this. Let's go. That would be kind of fun. Be like just an agent of said representative. No, bad idea. You elect people. You want the person who is campaigning, who's putting in the time, putting in the effort to show up and do the work. That's what we really need. And if you don't want to do the work, don't do the job. If you can't do the work, don't do the job. I'm going to just dip into a story that has really kind of frustrated me the way it's been covered a lot politically. I'm calling out my side as well. Pete Buttigieg goes on paternity leave. What did he get? 3 months, I think.
That sounds about right.
They adopted children. Now, there's a lot going on here. You can have your own thoughts and opinions on Pete Buttigieg and his husband adopting children. I'm here to say they adopted kids. If you're going to adopt children in this country do need to be adopted. I don't have a problem with parents taking time to bond with their kids. Especially when it comes to adoption. I am a huge, huge advocate for adoption. And I feel as though the shots that were taken at Pete Buttigieg in that regard were a little bit misplaced. He had a child who was in the NICU, and he attended to that. But where I wish the criticism would have been placed in that regard, the idea when we're talking about proxy voting of if you were put in a position to represent the American people in the best interests of this country based in the Constitution and only in the Constitution, you need to be able to show up and do your job. There are women and men, but usually women across this country who are dealt a difficult hand on a regular basis. And when they cannot meet the demands of both their occupation and their parenting, they are forced to make a decision and to choose. And they choose their kid. It's to me, and I'm probably going to get some blowback for this, but it's too easy to look at Pete Buttigieg and dislike the politician he is, dislike what he stands for. Me, check and check. I don't like his politics. I don't like the way he does policy, the way he implements policy. I would not like him to be the president of the United States. But in a completely separate vein, him being an adoptive father who was there for his kid in the NICU, and then all of a sudden it's like the suggestion was made that because he's not breastfeeding this child, that he should not have time to bond with this child outside of the context of being a member of the cabinet. The idea that paternity bonding with an adopted child is not valuable. What if we took the $500 million that we're giving of taxpayer dollars to fund Planned Parenthood and we injected it all into adoptive services? And what if those adoptive services did compensate moms and dads to stay at home for 3 months to bond with a child who didn't have a home before that adoption took place? I'm for that. And I guess I feel like I want to say this now because it's not in the heat of a big national conversation surrounding Pete Buttigieg and taking paternity leave and, all of the jokes that surround it. It always chafes me. I've always wanted to say that very publicly, that the idea of maternity and paternity leave to bond with a child is valuable. Getting to do it on the taxpayer dime, that is something that matters not to me in the case of providing a bond to a child who has a home now. Because we know what the government invests in and really campaigns on when it comes to providing that child a home. Imagine the life this child's going to have if they were to be born. They're better off dead. That's like the actual argument for abortion, is that these children are going to be born into circumstances that aren't even worth it. Imagine that. Imagine telling any born person, he'd have been better off if we would have aborted you. Imagine that. That's crazy. You know that's crazy. I know that's crazy. It hurts to even say. Frustrations with Pete Buttigieg and his deplorable job as transportation secretary and his policy standpoints that he has articulated very well because he's a very good speaker, as if that is something that is really, it is kind of important to be the president of the United States. We kind of have an example of the alternative of that, but it can't be the foundation of why you are going to be the president of the United States, is because you can woo people with coherent sentences. I would like to be wooed with coherent sentences from the Oval Office. You?
Coherent sentences and coherent policy.
Yeah. The policy is what matters. I would never support Pete Buttigieg to run this country. I think his policies are not rooted in the American ideals that I value. But I can see that in a separate bucket from the idea that he adopted these children and he wanted to bond with them, and one of these children was in the NICU. We can walk and chew gum at the same time on that, can't we? Don't you think? I mean, Brad, when you consider the investment that this political party on the left puts in whether or not a child would even be better off alive, I can see an absolute compromise point where we value adoption and the necessity of bonding with that child who is coming from who knows what circumstances after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's get parents in the home with their child to bond with their child, especially in the early formative days, hours of their lives. Get them out there, get them bonding with them. I do understand the pushback, though, because if you're a business owner, you're okay. What did we say? 3 months. If you're a business owner and you're paying somebody paternity leave as they're gone, you're paying them for 3 months, and they're not making your business profitable while they are gone.
Yeah, but you would do. People don't question maternity leave.
No, but I understand that, and my other wonder is like how important is it for, like, does the dad have to be there for 3 months for the full length of the
Why would the
maternity
mom
leave?
have to be?
Well, isn't there a recovery period?
If we're talking about adoption,
not
no.
in adoption. Yeah,
There's no breastfeeding. There's no adoption. There's no breastfeeding. There's no physical recovery. I've done it 4 times. I have 4 kids. I breastfed the first 3. The 4th, I said, I can't. And I didn't. And I was fine with that. But to suggest that there's a value to bond between the mother and the child and not to the father and the child, it is a tough argument to make. And I would add to that, it is very burdensome for a mother to be the one. I mean, people are like, oh, you take off and spend time with it. That is not easy. Oh my gosh, that is not easy. And if you were, I'm talking about experiences that I've had 4 times with a newborn. That is tough. That is incredibly tough. You're recovering from having a baby physically. You're trying to breastfeed, which means that every 2 hours, your body is on a clock that is answered by a crying baby. And if you were breastfeeding, that becomes very difficult over the course of time. It is burdensome. But the bond with a child, if you set all of that stuff aside, again, if we are as a society looking at abortion in the vein of this child's going to have a terrible life. And making it so, I mean, it is so complicated to adopt a child in America today. It's amazing how difficult and punitive we make it for people who want to adopt children. How frustrating and difficult and expensive it is. What if we invested in it? I mean, I think to myself, if there are children out there who need good homes, why would we not invest in that family unit?
Mm-hmm.
And to suggest that it should be a man, that it should be a woman over a man, to me does not make a ton of sense.
What if it was one parent or the other for the long period? Not saying that you wouldn't allow the husband or the wife in the adoption situation, not allow the husband or the wife to stay home as long. 3 months is a really long time. I've never had a kid, so I don't know what the bonding process is. But at the same time, if you're trying to run a business, or are we saying that the government subsidizes this time and that way the business isn't harmed while that person's out?
I think the way my maternity leave was partially paid for by disability, short-term disability, which I pay for.
Okay.
I paid into and the company pays for. It's
That's actually a good idea too. If you could write the law.
It's usually like 60 cents on the dollar, maybe that the short-term disability pays, and then the company might step in and compensate for the rest. They might not. I had to use sick days that I had earned here to apply to that. And I mean, you can't say like one parent can stay home because, for instance, like at this company, I can provide insurance for my husband, but if he can get insurance from his employer, I have to pay a very punitive price, like extra cost that I pay per paycheck to also cover him, because this company wants to say, hey, if your husband can get insurance covered by his employer, make him go there. And if you really want it here, we'll provide it for you, but at a cost, because it costs this company to cover everybody. If it turns into like, oh, one parent per household gets to stay home, what that ends up doing is making the companies, especially private companies, juggle back and forth. Well, we're not going to bear the burden. Let the other person do it. And then, of course, the public service, the publicly funded, they'll be like, paternity and maternity for all and leave for all. And then that goes on the taxpayer dime. And the reason why that is funded by the taxpayer dime is because people campaign on those promises. They get elected and they give that out as a bonus that makes them look generous and like an advocate during an election. And then, of course, it costs the taxpayers. And then what ends up happening is private sector and public sector taxpayers are paying for a benefit that public sector workers get that private don't.
And then let me throw another wrinkle into this for you. Would forcing companies to provide that maternity, paternity leave, like what we're talking about, would that make them more apt to say, you know what? We'll pay to send you to a place so that you can get an abortion?
Well, that's what Disney's doing.
Right.
Disney is advocating paying for, among other companies. I just have seen this with Disney. I mean, stop and think about this for a second right now. We have a strong advocacy from the left, the pro-woman movement, that says, get your abortion, you shout your abortion. That should make you proud because you got a choice and you're exercising that choice. That is what the culture says right now. And then you know what companies here? We could pay $300 for the abortion. We could put you up in a hotel, give you 2 days off, 3 days off, maybe a week off to recover, and then you'll be back at work. As opposed to maternity coverage and childbirth healthcare coverage and 3 months maternity leave that we have to compensate for and hire somebody. So what do people who are looking, pull out the sheet, look at the bottom line? Which one's better for the bottom line? Abortions. It's disgusting. I'm saying that we federally, your tax dollars go to Planned Parenthood right now. We are subsidizing abortion clinics to provide healthcare services to women. They say that doesn't go to abortion, but I'm not stupid and neither are you. We are investing taxpayer dollars in abortion services. What if we flip the script and put that money into adoption? I would even vote to increase it. And that's not the kind of the conversation that I have on this show. If it saves a life, I support it. I don't know. Didn't think I was going to talk about that today, but here we are. Let's take a quick break. We're going to check with Hans von Spakovsky when we come back, talk a little Biden documents, classified documents. Does it correlate with anything about Hunter Biden? Everybody's got their eyebrows raised up, so much so that the CNNs and the MSNBCs are dabbling in a little Hunter Biden, Joe Biden conversation. Is it that bad? Well, let's talk to Hans in a minute. Don't go away.
I realized quickly when I knew I should that the world was made up of this brotherhood of man. Or whatever that means.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I am feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey,
I'm Howard Mackler of GetRefunds.com. You may have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund program that gives businesses up to $26,000 for every employee they kept on payroll during COVID. But today, I'm not going to do the talking. I'm letting a real Get Refunds client tell you everything.
I'm Ray, owner of Manzi Insurance and Real Estate. I heard about the payroll tax refund and GetRefunds.com on the radio. When COVID hit my business, I scrambled to figure out how to protect our employees and customers while still being able to service our clients' needs. They got me approved for a payroll tax refund, and with that money, it allowed me to upgrade our technology to provide the means for some employees to work remote while also protecting those that return to the office. If you have a business, you should go to getrefunds.com and start your claim today.
GetRefunds.com helped their business, and we can help yours too. Go to GetRefunds.com and see if you qualify in just 8 minutes. GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
I want to talk to you about the Diamond Shop. It is January 19th, which means Valentine's Day is less than a month away. Already. Yeah, that went fast. The Diamond Shop is there for you. They can walk you through the process of buying a specific piece of jewelry. You can talk to them about who you're buying the jewelry for. If you have no clue, but you know that something special from the Diamond Shop that comes in a little red bag would really make your loved one's day. Or you're the type of person who knows exactly what they want, and you can go into the Diamond Shop. They might have it, and if they don't, they can customize it for you. That is a fantastic feature of working with the Diamond Shop, getting to know them and having people in the business. When you meet the staff, the amazing family that is there running the Diamond Shop, you're going to understand quickly why they have been so successful for so long. Since 1910, they moved to Clayton, and they are servicing people exactly like you every day. Meet those needs within the budget. If you want to get something and it's less than $100 for Valentine's Day, go to the Diamond Shop. They got something for you. Or if you want to really dial it up a notch, oh, they got that stuff too. And it's pretty. Reach out to them in Clayton, stop by and visit. Tell them the Annie Frey Show said hello when you stop in. They're going to love that. You can visit them online, become a VIP at thediamondshop.net.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
Keep it here for the real news. This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon, and Dana Lash on 97.1 FM Talk.
Remember the words you told me, love me till the day I die. Surrender my everything, cause you made me believe you're mine. Yeah, you used to call me baby, now you're calling me by name. stakes. Wanna know why, yeah, you beat me at my own damn game.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Giving you take, young blood, see you want me, and I'm just
Joe Biden is now a hostage in his own White House. Yes, this is the sixth straight day he hasn't taken questions from reporters. Yesterday, he sat there mutely with the Dutch prime minister as reporters shouted questions he does not want to engage. I'm sure he'd rather be tooling around in his Corvette. But the thing is, he needs to come out and at the very least express some regret for the sloppiness involved in these 6-year-old papers. And there's this myth that if you're president or anybody else, you can't defend yourself because there's an ongoing DOJ investigation. That is absolutely fictitious.
We the people of the United States,
More perfect.
in order to form a more perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Well, Hans, we're grateful to have you on today as we continue to watch the Biden classified documents scandal unfold. Welcome back to the show. Hope you're doing well.
No, I'm doing just fine, thanks. And yeah, this is a really important topic to talk about, and particularly the idea that the president can't make any comment, can't talk about it. That is just absurd. In fact, he ought to be explaining not just to the American people, but to the Justice Department and others, everything having to do with these papers. You know, who handled them, who moved them, who had access to them. All that he should be talking about.
So, Hans, talk to me about the questions that are rolling around in your legal mind right now that kind of push away all the politics that are surrounding this. With the Trump scenario in Mar-a-Lago, I think they get clouded a lot. I'm trying so very hard to focus on the Biden case specifically right now, just so that the people here listening can understand what this situation is about. What questions come to your mind?
Well, first of all, for everybody to understand, it is a criminal violation of the law to remove classified documents from a government office. So there's no question about that. And a sitting president can't be criminally charged. That's a longtime opinion of the Justice Department. But it is a criminal offense for Biden to have done what he did, and any of his staffers who did or who were involved in this. But the biggest questions I've got is, one, what were these classified documents about? Yeah, they're classified, so we can't know the details of them, but we could be told, did they concern the Ukraine? Did they concern Russia? Did they concern China? Second, who was it that moved these documents out? And most importantly, who had potentially access to them? That's a really important question, because the biggest issue is, were the materials in these classified documents seen by foreign agents, foreign powers, people representing, for example, the Chinese Communist Party? And finally, given the corruption investigation that's going on of Hunter Biden and the whole Biden family and their potential profiting from relations with China and other places, is, again, what were these papers about, and were they pertinent to those financial transactions they were engaging in?
So, the questions about the relationships that exist between President Biden and China, President Biden and Ukraine. I mean, if any of us stop for a minute and think about the money involved in the United States relationship and those two countries specifically, a lot of Americans are looking at the money that's being sent to Ukraine. We have, we know that Hunter Biden was on the board for Burisma. We know he had no experience that lends him to be an expert serving on a board that has to do with energy in Ukraine. But yet there he is getting paid a very lucrative sum of money. And then we know about the, rent that's being paid at the house. There are just so many questions. I don't know that we really have any of those answers. But Hans, when you're watching these every day, new details are unveiled or combed through, where are you watching right now to get facts that actually matter for the pursuit of truth?
Well, frankly, the best sources for this are Fox and Newsmax. I mean, they're the ones that are actually pursuing this the way it should be. The left stream media, I like to call it that instead of the mainstream media. It's like they're starting to pay some attention to this, but they aren't asking the kind of questions that should be asked about this.
So, okay, we're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky. He is a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, a former FEC commissioner, DOJ lawyer. I want to know, in your mind, how any of the Biden story, kind of step into a little bit of the politics of it. Is there any part of the Mar-a-Lago Donald Trump scandal that is pertinent to what we're seeing with Joe Biden at his private residence, Wilmington?
Well, keep two things in mind. Presidents are the ultimate decision makers on classification. A president can declassify any document that the government has. No one can question that. He has an absolute authority to do that. As you know, with the Donald Trump and the Mar-a-Lago raid, the president says that he did declassify the documents that were found there. Vice presidents do not have that authority. Some have brought up the fact that Dick Cheney did, but that's only because I believe that power was specifically delegated to him by President Bush for certain matters. That didn't happen in the Obama administration. So there's a huge difference there. Additionally, Justice Department and others claim, well, it wasn't in a secure location, but the documents they found were at Mar-a-Lago, which is protected by the Secret Service. Vice presidents only get Secret Service protection for, I think, 6 months, and then they're on their own. And these papers were scattered amongst Biden's office in Washington, which is totally unsecured and unprotected, at his home, which was unsecured and unprotected. So we have huge swaths of time where basically any foreign power probably could have easily gotten in to look at these classified documents.
Hans von Spakovsky with us here on the Annie Frey Show. I'm curious about your thoughts on the Hunter Biden connection. Is anybody who's bringing Hunter's name in this, is it completely speculative, or do you believe that there's evidence that is available for our eyes and ears right now that suggests that there is a real concern to look into here?
Well, there are reports, as you know, I think unconfirmed, that these classified documents concerned our relations with China, Russia, and Ukraine. And those are the countries involved in Hunter Biden and the enormous amount of money he earned and was being paid, not because of his financial skills, experience, or knowledge, but only because he was the son of the vice president and because of those ties. And so what was in those documents and whether they were used by the Biden family to further their own financial fortune, I think, is a key question in this corruption investigation.
So, Hans, just walk us through here what our listeners should expect to happen next. We spoke yesterday with Andy McCarthy and, kind of asked him the same question about the Trump situation versus the Biden situation. And his phrase was, we're about 5 minutes into this Biden situation. There's a lot we don't know yet. We have a lot of questions. But, people watching this, especially if you're kind of watching it with your popcorn, it becomes a little bit of an entertainment, has an entertainment level to it, where people get invested in this and they want to know what happens next. And they're not patient. They want information. They want answers right now. I suspect that this could be a lengthy process. What happens as we march into getting the evidence, the truth, and the importance of what really took place for the American people?
Well, I tell you what ought to be happening, but apparently isn't. Remember, with the Mar-a-Lago raid, in essence, we had the FBI and DOJ lawyers going in, seizing all the documents so that they could do a survey of all the documents to determine what they were about, how classified they were. That hasn't happened here. I'm just shocked that so far the Justice Department has simply been relying on the president's private lawyers. Why are they allowing those individuals to go through these documents, there should be teams of FBI agents, DOJ lawyers, at all of these locations where these documents have been found, searching and going through these documents, because frankly, I wouldn't trust the personal lawyers of the president, and second of all, they may not even have the kind of classification security clearances that even allows them to be doing this. And I'm just astonished that the Justice Department is being so negligent, I would even say reckless, as to not be doing this. And that's what ought to be happening, so we can find out really how many documents are there, what are they about, and remember, with Trump, it wasn't just classified documents, it was all these other government documents that our National Archives said should not have been there. Well, how many other documents does Biden have? Nobody's been addressing that issue.
So, Hans, you think the story is going to be around for a while?
Yes, it's going to be around for quite a while, particularly with the Biden administration and the White House refusing to say anything or explain anything about what happened.
Well, that's why we have you here, Hans, because you explain it so well. Thank you for giving us some time today. And we always look forward to having these chats with you. There's always something interesting to discuss. And you bring a level of expertise that we really value here on our show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
We'll do it again. Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, author of the book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. If you're looking for a good read, check that out. Speaking of good reads, Monday on the show, we are going to have Harris Faulkner on here. We're going to talk a little bit about her new book, Faith Can Move Mountains. Faith Still Moves Mountains.
Faith Still Moves Mountains.
I got the audiobook last night, started listening to it, and it's really impactful. It's a really interesting take on, from the position of a journalist like Harris Faulkner, the stories that you have to cover. I mean, we do that here on the Annie Frey Show, but this is not live television. It's radio. It's different when you're on TV and news breaks and you have to cover it and you have to get America through those stories. She's seen a lot and her book is pretty amazing. So I cannot wait. Monday, we'll be speaking with Harris Faulkner here on the Annie Frey Show at 1:25 p.m. Monday. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Wiggins America back in studio. He's going to talk about a new political action committee. I don't know, it's new. I wonder how new it is. Ready for Ron. He wants to discuss Ron DeSantis for running for president. And our YouTube live chat poll today is, in 2024, Trump or someone else? Pretty simple. You can always weigh in with your comments as well on the live chat. Just go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel in the live chat section. You can vote. In 2024, Trump or someone else. Let us know what you think. We can't wait to report the results at 2:45. Back in a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife, Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis is designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right, seminars. Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. And Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton, St. Louis, Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminar.com.
Man, the Frey family took on Ruler Foods in Collinsville last night, and it was fun. My kids loved it. My daughter got out my phone, and she had the calculator open so that we could tally up. She wanted to run the prices for things as we walk through the store. Got a cart full of groceries for about $100, and what you can save at Ruler Foods, and I'm not going to tell you that every single thing that you buy there is going to be drastically cheaper than where you might currently be buying your groceries, but I am going to tell you that there are some staple goods at Ruler Foods that you are going to drastically save money on, and the other stuff you're not going to spend more on it. Make your grocery budget Breathe a sigh of relief when you shop at Ruler Foods. You can find the one that's nearest you by going to rulerfoods.com. Great produce, blueberry pints, blackberry 6 ounces, raspberry 6 ounces, $1.67 a piece. Tyson chicken breasts or tenders, I saw those last night, $2.49 a pound. Just really, really great brands. Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices, but also a ton of name brand stuff. It's clean, it's organized, it's easy to shop, and you save. I don't know what else I can say. I don't know how else I can tell you. You need to go to Ruler Foods. You can visit them online to find the one nearest you. It's worth the drive. rulerfoods.com.
When you hear Diamonds Direct, it's not just a catchy name designed to give the illusion of value. Our name is who we really are. Diamonds Direct was started by diamond cutters a quarter of a century ago. At our very core is a commitment to cut out the middleman and deliver extreme value in exquisite diamonds. Today, that's more true than ever, with our direct access to diamonds straight from the mines. Diamonds that we then cut and polish. Exquisite diamonds up to 15 and 20 carats in all shapes and sizes. It's an advantage other jewelers only dream of. By overseeing the entire process, we know for a fact Diamonds Direct is truly direct. So this year, as value becomes more important than ever, rest assured that Diamonds Direct's unique status in the world diamond market guarantees you the best no middleman direct importer price, period. And even with this extreme value promise, at Diamonds Direct, you still get an unbeatable selection, transparent education, a luxurious shopping experience, superior customer service, no compromises. It's not having a cool name or clever advertising, it's the truth. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Mark Reardon sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Maholtred Ophthalmology Associates. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today. That's youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
Do you have extra socks on your feet because you've got no heat?
Holy, call Hoffman Brothers.
The furnace is one of the most important pieces in every home, and a regular maintenance tune-up from Hoffman Brothers could save you hundreds, even thousands in the long run. From carbon monoxide safety to a simple cleaning, they can catch problems before they start. So don't wait until it's broken before you call. Just pick up the phone and they'll take care of it all.
Holy, call Hoffman Brothers.
314-664-3011 or go to hoffmanbros.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Fact-checking the mainstream media daily.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You found it here. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
He was a boy, she was a girl. Can I make it any more obvious? He was a punk, she did ballet. What more can
Almost
I
2
say?
years ago, we were the first state to ban vaccine passports in our state. We banned mandates in the workplace for COVID shots because nobody should have to choose between a job they need and a shot they don't want.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
Brilliant man there.
Well, he knows what he's doing. He's certainly hitting all the right buttons into I want to say maybe passable candidacy for president. I don't know.
Maybe passable.
Maybe passable. Passable.
Was that passable or was that supposed to be possible?
Annie, I don't know. I'm on the radio. I don't even know which word I use.
No, we established this in the pre-show, if you watch the Annie Frey YouTube channel, that we're going to just out him right now, but Ryan Wiggins is a Fed.
Because I look like I'm trying to be a cool guy.
You're trying so hard to look normal. Just fit in, guys. You just got to fit in.
You got a shirt that says España on it.
No,
Fed wouldn't wear that.
He stood here in the pre-show for 90 seconds minimum, putting his hat on backwards and then putting it on forwards and then putting it on backwards and then putting it on forwards. Like, I don't know, guys, which one should I do? It's like so obvious.
This is my chance to look in the mirror in the pre-show.
He's also our resident communist.
It's not. Your chance to look in the mirror is before the pre-show, in the bathroom, where you make decisions that are really important, like which direction should my hat face?
No, I already know which direction it's going to face during the show because I can't put my headphones on over a bill. I have to have them backwards.
Obvious things a Fed would do. Anyway, let's get back to
Well,
your Wiggins America.
The story that I've pulled up here from Financial Times is based on DeSantis facing. It's Financial
Fed!
Times.
Fed!
I know. I know, but I'm not. I promise.
It makes everything make
That's
sense.
exactly what a Fed would say.
Isn't it?
I can go through the rest of our time here together on this show, however long that lasts, kind of at peace now because everything makes sense. I get it now.
You know what I hate is that's kind of right.
It's 100% right.
I kind of understand that. I would be a great Fed because I'm so unassuming.
All right, Ray Epps, let's go. Wiggins America.
Yeah. Hey, you know what you should do is you can tear that barrier down right there. This is from Financial Times.
You broke the pipe in the office, didn't you? You're the one who caused the water leak over by Steve's office. You displaced everybody.
That's not what a Fed would do.
Was if they were trying to cover their tracks.
Which is what a Fed would say.
Ooh, dang, that's a good idea. Now I'm going to have to do that.
What did you do in that part of the building that you needed to destroy?
I just needed some documents. Biden's documents were everywhere. I thought maybe they'd be over there.
You for a vacation request form?
The executive bathroom's over there. Maybe he destroyed it.
I just needed a vacation request form. I came in through the air
Cause
ducts.
a diversion, quick! Break that pipe. Do it right by Steve's office. He'll
venting.
never know.
He's venting. Ryan is sus.
Oh no, they're gonna see my fingerprints in the air duct.
Yes.
I better break a pipe because it's Christmas and I forgot to fill out.
He just really wanted this Tuesday off. All he had to do was ask for it, but
Well, one thing
Fed's
a
gonna
Fed
Fed
does not do is read the Financial Times every day, like I do, and look at polls.
Just ask Mr. Pelosi what to do.
So many directions to go there.
I was talking about stock trading. I don't know what you were thinking about.
As a Fed, they came to me and said I should not talk about the Pelosi situation.
Totally normal.
So the news is, I'll just get right to the news. I was going to set it up, but here's the news. There's a pro Ron DeSantis super PAC called Ready for Ron. Now, they've existed for a bit, but they have now decided they're going to spend $100,000 a week over the next 6 months, $3.3 million, just pushing the idea of DeSantis for president. And people are saying, well, that's another sign that he's going to run. My question for you is it really? They don't coordinate these things necessarily with him.
They literally legally cannot.
Right.
The PAC has nothing to do with Ron DeSantis. And if they did, it would be illegal.
That's correct. And I would know.
Maybe. It's because his hat's on backwards. He's in Fed mode.
No, you guys were saying it was on forward because it looks so darn
I'm going
good.
to be honest. You look like a Fed both ways.
I look like I'm trying to be a real person.
He's got on a shirt that says España.
Yeah, Fed wouldn't wear that.
Every time you
Or
say
would
that,
he?
you're making my point. He's like, what would a Fed not do? Let's go there.
There's a Fed here there's an FBI organization here in St. Louis.
Yeah, like right over there.
I'm just pointing that
Yeah.
out. I'm not saying that that's associated with me in any way. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah, he went to Taco Bell for lunch.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what we call the headquarters. We call it Taco Bell.
Downtown St. Louis Taco Bell, is just full of Feds. That makes so much sense.
Everybody in there with backward hats.
Wearing shorts.
Everybody wants to play Among Us now.
Here's a question for you concerning the super PAC money.
Sus. Totally.
If they're spending $3.3 million,
Emergency meeting.
which is a lot of money to me. It may not be a lot in politics, but it's money. It's real money. And DeSantis knows he is not going to run. Isn't it selfish of him to not announce that he's not going to? Because this is going to raise his profile regardless. But shouldn't he say, before you start wasting conservative money?
The single biggest Republican winner of the midterm election, running and just dominating winning re-election, is the governor of Florida. And everybody is begging him to run. And you're like, is he being kind of selfish?
I am saying that.
No, that word doesn't even fit in the language of politics, you Fed.
Well, I think that if he knew he wasn't going to run, and he was just teasing this
What
because
does the
it
Fed
raises,
want Ron DeSantis to do?
I don't know. I'm not one of them, so I have no idea. If I take this hat off, Am I not a Fed anymore? Is it the hat?
At this point, I think we know.
It is, because this is money that could be going toward other conservative causes, millions of dollars that he would be then using on himself, knowing that it was not in anybody's interest for him to be promoted in that way.
Brian says that KFC was just a cover for your FBI meetings once a week.
That's not true. We called it Taco Bell. And
you had to change it.
Same company.
No, you don't change it. As we know, when Trump left office, the nuclear codes never change. So if somebody had those in his closet, they would have had access to just shoot nukes. They never change anything. So we never change the code word for Taco Bell for headquarters. You follow that logic, right?
Why? No, I wasn't even listening. I was reading these hilarious comments on the live stream.
I know.
Everyone's tuning in to see how much of a Fed you look like. I need to know what y'all think.
Right,
Our YouTube live chat poll is Trump or someone else in 2024. Oh, no. Now you look like an off-duty Fed.
Well, that should be the poll for today.
No, the poll is in 2024, Trump or someone else. Playing into what you're saying, there's a ton of support behind Ron DeSantis.
A ton of support
behind
DeSantis. And actually, not to get too deep into the polls, but right now, every poll that's coming out has Trump losing barely to Biden and DeSantis beating or tied with Biden. So he's polling better against Biden, but we don't even know if Biden's running. So
A, I still hate polls, and I hate them more than I've ever hated them before. And B, if you go back to every single presidential primary season that has ever existed, in January of 2023 for a November 2024 election, we are literally talking about 656 days until the presidential election.
Do you do that every day? Do you just have that at the ready? That's incredible.
I'm CIA.
No, you're not. I would know.
How would you know?
Yeah. How would you know?
That's because she talks about KFC. We do Taco Bell on my side.
Who's we? The Fed?
I can't say.
Told you. You just did. He's like an intern. He's a Fed intern.
When I say Fed, I mean I'm the
Fed
janitor.
in training right now. He's working with crayons.
Yeah. I clean the bathrooms. But I hear things.
He's like, okay. I know the Feds.
I've got the badge. Yep.
If you're Fed and I'm CIA, what's Brad?
He's just a board op.
He's not just a board op.
I'm IMF.
Which is?
Impossible Mission Force.
Which is?
I'm Ethan Hunt.
Ethan
If
Hunt.
you know, you know.
Which is? That's one of those movie chains.
Mission Impossible.
Oh, you just want to be Tom Cruise because he's 5'8". We'll be right back.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw for the next Protecting Your Retirement Educational event. It's Tuesday, January 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online today at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and concerned about losing even more money this year in your retirement accounts? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses and still generate more income than most investment options? Would you like to know why our clients have not lost a penny with all the market volatility this past year? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, January 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
What if everything you got came with a little bit of money? Spicy chicken ramen with a side of quarters, a full tank of gas, and a $5 bill, an entire pantry's worth of groceries, and a pocket full of cash. Well, then you'd be living life on the upside. The first platform that gives you real cash back in real life wherever you roll. Restaurants, grocery stores, gas stations, all cashback opportunities. So order the expensive appetizer, buy a little extra at the store, fill your gas tank till the pump stops. Because with Upside, you can. Start earning cash back just for doing you. Download the free Upside app and use promo code SPICY for an extra $10 cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's promo code SPICY. Promo code SPICY. SPICY for an extra $10 on the free Upside app. Start living life on the upside with the free Upside app.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Charges in a movie set shooting. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Prosecutors in New Mexico say negligence is to blame for the death of a cinematographer on the set of the Alec Baldwin movie Rust in 2021. Baldwin now charged with involuntary manslaughter along with the film's armorer, facing up to 5 years in prison if convicted.
Baldwin's attorney issued a statement which read, "This decision distorts Helena Hutchins' tragic death and represents a terrible miscarriage of justice. Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe there was a live bullet in the gun. It ended stating, 'We will fight these charges and we will win.' The shooting occurred during rehearsal of a scene where a live round was discharged from a prop revolver Baldwin was holding."
Fox's Michelle Polino, the movie's assistant director, has signed a plea deal on a charge of negligent use of a firearm. The family of a 6-year-old boy who shot and wounded his teacher in Virginia speaks out.
The statement, released through a lawyer representing the child's family, says the gun that was used had been secured. It also said while a parent is usually with the child in class, neither was on the day the shooting occurred. The statement came through attorney James Ellenson's office in Newport News. It neither identified the family nor gave details on how and where the gun was secured. The teacher, Abigail Zwerner, is still recovering. The child is said to be under hospital care. Police say the child's mom bought the gun legally, but did not say how the child got it.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The statement says the boy also has an acute disability and a care plan at school. The nation's credit card maxed out, so to speak, prompting steps to delay default.
In a letter to Congress, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says, quote, "Extraordinary measures have begun as the U.S. hits its debt limit." The delay sets up for a battle in Congress, as Republicans want to see spending cuts in exchange for raising the debt limit.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. America is listening to Fox News.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-404-GOLD.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Here comes a very weak cool front coming across the area. It's kind of a secondary cold front, maybe a sprinkle of rain this afternoon, a fair amount of clouds. Big deal, it stays windy, 45. Tonight, cloudy, colder, windy, 28. Friday, lots of sunshine, still windy and 42. Saturday, sunny, less wind, 42 again. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're a fan of 97.1, get a t-shirt. Visit 971talk.com/merch to see all the new t-shirt designs and show your support for St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS employees and enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Buying a home right now, prices have come down on homes a little bit. Rates have come down a little bit. Stewart's American Mortgage is the place to get your mortgage secured. Lowest rates out there, and the bagel loan. You can only get them at Stewart's American Mortgage, that bagel loan. You're not going to pay any of those closing costs. Listen to me say this very specifically. No closing costs with the bagel loan. It's important that you understand that they aren't there. He doesn't tuck them into the loan or roll them in so you just pay them later or over the length of time. They aren't there. This saves you thousands of dollars on a home purchase potentially when you use the bagel loan, where you can only get it at Stewart's American Mortgage. I've refinanced twice using the bagel loan with Stewie for various reasons. First, to lower my rate, and the second time to do a cash out refinance, which actually at the time also got me a lower rate than the first one. He's looking out for you. He knows how to make your financial situation work for you. And when you're buying a home, Stewie is the guy you need to contact. 314-324-4440. That's his cell phone. 314-324-4440. Call him, text him, mention the Annie Frey Show when you do, and ask him about the bagel loan. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight and stop smoking. Only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express Suite St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. And Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
It's so crystal clear. Black Lives Matter is part of the LGBT movement. It's part of a Marxist movement. And so we've had athletes in football, basketball, baseball, everywhere. They're all disavowing their religious convictions and taking on the convictions of corporate America and global corporations. They're slaves to the dollar. They worship the dollar. They worship popularity and being influencers. We don't have religious convictions. We don't have men bold enough to stand on their religious convictions, other than, I guess, a Russian guy. It's embarrassing for us as Americans.
Have you heard this story about the Philadelphia Flyers? Is it Ivan Provorov?
Provorov, yeah.
Provorov. They were going to have a Pride night, as I understand this. Are you familiar with the story?
Yes, I am.
They were having a Pride night, as do pretty much all professional sports now. They have a acknowledgement, at least one a season, and they acknowledge Pride Night. And then, of course, you see, just like around Mother's Day, you'll see baseball players wear swing pink bats or wear pink socks, and it's in honor of Mother's Day, but they use that time as a way to raise money and benefit breast cancer research,
right?
Prostate cancer research with blue stuff during Father's Day. So I think they do potentially military stuff for like Memorial Day and maybe even something patriotic for July 4th. There are Pride nights. And there was a story that came out, was it Tampa Bay? There was a pitcher who didn't want to participate in the Pride night stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it was just one pitcher, though. It was a couple of them.
I think there was one who kind of spoke on behalf of a group of people. I think it was probably the minority of the people in the clubhouse there, but they said, we're not going to wear this stuff. That was it. That was their protest, I guess, of the event, was just, we're just not going to put this on our jersey or whatever it might be. Well, this Philadelphia Flyers coach defended his defenseman, Provorov, on Thursday as a player came under fire for skipping the organization's Pride festivities to support the LGBTQ plus community. This hockey player was labeled homophobic online, and one NHL analyst advised him to go back to Russia and get involved in the conflict between the country and Ukraine. What's implied there? Go get involved in a war? That's like, I have a family member whose phrase was like, go play in traffic. It's not really a nice thing to say. It's not like go play in traffic and I hope you come out okay. That's not what the implication was there. Go get involved in the conflict between the country and Ukraine. Fox News reports ahead of the team's game against the Chicago Blackhawks, the coach addressed the issue. He said he had no concerns about whether the controversy would affect the locker room. He said Provorov approached him about not wearing the jersey before the game. Not for a second. The meeting, the 15 to 20 minutes we spent together was really healthy, a really good process in a very important situation. Here's the question for you, folks. Brad, I'll let you answer it first while other people are responding to their car radios right now while we discuss this. If you want to, as an organization, have a Pride Night, if that's something you want to acknowledge and you think that is a community that you want to shine a spotlight on, you get the choice to do that. Everybody else gets the choice to participate or not participate, or to still go to the Flyers game because they love the Flyers and, maybe they don't choose to wear Pride Night memorabilia that night, but they're there. They're happy. They care more about the hockey game than about that type of a thing. Just like if you were going to go on Mother's Day, you may not necessarily be like donning yourself in pink because to acknowledge that. If you are an athlete on a team where the company is saying, we're going to have this Pride Night, and if you are going to say, my personal beliefs, perspective, who I am, stands in conflict with this, and I would like to not be forced to participate in something that goes against who I am as an individual, and I would like you to respect my ability to do that. You think that player doesn't realize that that's going to stand out? You think the player knows that's going to go unnoticed. So if you had a player step up and say, this is something that I want to stand for or kneel for, that an organization would look at that and have to acknowledge that there is somebody who's the departure from maybe what the majority thinks. In the last few years in this country, maybe decade, we have seen a lot of organizations create space, permit, even uphold the idea that those dissenters who might be in the minority, who might have something that they want to personally stand for that goes against what the majority out there think, we have been told as a society that we are supposed to be silent and listen to what that person has to say and understand that their perspective might be a little bit different than everyone else's and that they have a right to it.
Well, that's what we've been told. I don't believe that people believe that, though. I think that, especially this situation, I came across this yesterday whenever it really first started blowing up. And the man is a Russian Orthodox Christian. That's his religious belief. That's what he said in his interview and all that other stuff. And he said, I don't want to participate.
Did he say that, did he demand that the Philadelphia Flyers not do the Pride Night?
No.
Did he say that he didn't want his teammates to participate?
Didn't say that either.
Did he say he wanted to speak or make some sort of protest, like a public display of dissent?
No, all he wanted to do was not wear the jersey, which the jersey was an all-black warm-up jersey where the Philadelphia Flyers logo had as the interior the pride flag. That's all he said. I don't want to wear this. And in the post-game interview, he said, I don't want to wear this video. I didn't want to wear the jersey. It violates my religious beliefs. That's all I want to say about it. And the blowback on the internet is this man is a bigot. He's not a true Christian, because if he was a true Christian, he'd be accepting of everything. I've seen all sorts of things about it. But to me, whenever I look at this and the blowback, the one man saying that he should go back to Russia and fight the Russia-Ukraine war, they aren't looking this is about as neutral as you can go on something and say, you guys want to do this? I'm just not going to participate. I'll still be your teammate. We'll still play hockey together. I just don't want to participate in this. That's about as neutral as you can get whenever you have two parties that are diametrically opposed on a situation. The one just says, I'm just not going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have the right to do it. I have the right to not to do it. We're going to agree to disagree in this situation. That's that. That is not what that side is looking for. They're looking for compliance and submission. They want you to comply with what their demands are. And here's the thing.
I would actually take it a step further. They want you to obey.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing about it is whenever you put on a pride flag, that is an endorsement of it. They're arguing that this man should lose his job as a defenseman in the NHL because he didn't want to endorse something that they love. That's an endorsement. You're forcing him to wear something. That's compelled speech. I am not a big fan of compelling people to say certain things. You don't have the right to compel somebody to say something that they don't want to say.
Christians are not the only people of faith who would have this conflict.
Not even close.
So I'm outspoken on the show about being a Christian. I know that rubs some of you the wrong way. Sorry, not sorry. But I do want to step up here and advocate for the critics on Twitter. I do want to stand up and advocate for the people who are pointing out this hockey player's bigotry. You know why? Because that's what the First Amendment does. The First Amendment enters this situation and gives you the permission to have an entirely different perspective than this Flyers hockey player. The First Amendment allows you to assess his decision, his personal decision to say, I do not want to wear this jersey. And you get to say, you are a homophobic bigot. You get to have that opinion. And far be it from me to say that you don't get to share that opinion. Do you think that Provorov, when he chose to do this, when he went to speak to that 15 to 20 minute conversation with his coach, do you think he said, Coach, I'm not going to wear the jersey and I'm putting it on you and this organization to make sure nobody says anything bad about me? Of course he didn't. He knew what was going to happen. He didn't go by that decision lightly. He knew that when he wore his, white Flyers jersey or whatever it was, in contrast to the black ones that have the pride flag and the Flyers logo across the front, that it would be a story. And he knew that people were going to call him names. And he knew that the people who called him names were really going to believe that about him. And there's nothing he's going to say now. There's nothing I'm going to say now to change those people's minds or their opinions, because that's their life perspective. But in this country, you get to have that perspective. You get to look at someone, and yes, you get to judge that person, because that's what everybody who hates him right now knows nothing about which jersey he wore on Pride Night. That's what they know. I guarantee you the majority of the people are not Flyers fans, if even hockey NHL fans. Some of them are. Their opinions matter too, but no more than anybody else's. If we are going to live in a free country, this idea, I see it on Twitter all the time. Who are you to judge? That's what everybody does all the time. That's all Twitter is a bunch of judgment with brevity. That's what Twitter is. And if people want to get on Twitter and assess a decision that someone else made and call them a name for it, guess what? You get to do that in this country. And the only way that I can defend the First Amendment with the real power and strength and authority that the First Amendment should wield is to do it when I completely disagree with what the speech is that is out there. I have to say, nope, this is valuable too. Because it would be lovely if, when I have an unpopular opinion or an unpopular thing to say that I feel needs to be said, that the people who completely disagree with me would say, I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And Annie Frey is maybe the stupidest person I've ever listened to, but she has the right to say it out loud. You don't get to do that in every other country out there. America, this is important to what we do and who we are. It's why it's number one. Who am I to judge? Is a mentality, is a way that you should apply that to your own life. But it's maybe the most judgy statement that anybody can actually make, because people are saying, if I say to you, Brad, who are you to judge? Guess what I'm doing to you? I'm judging you. I'm judging what you're saying. And I'm here judging what you've decided to put out there in the world. I'm judging you and telling you, you don't get to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who am I to judge? That's a way you can live your life. If you look around the world and you see people living lifestyles you don't agree with, doing things you don't agree with, if you see people who are living in conflict with what you stand for, it is a really, really good thing to say to yourself, who am I to judge? How many different places here can I replace judgment with kindness? I mean, in the Christian faith, it's much more effective to show people Jesus than to shout at people Jesus. If you know who you are and whose you are, I hope that kindness comes through. And even when the kindness comes through, you're still going to be judged. You're still going to be called names. You're still going to be told that you're a horrible person, that you're the worst person ever, that you're bigoted, you're homophobic, you're whatever all the words might be that might get thrown at you. But if what you were standing for in the first place is what you're going to stand for in the last place, hurl the words at me. In the political landscape, though, we have to remember that it is okay to completely dissent with what other people are doing with their lives. It is okay to call them out. If you feel as though people are being hypocritical, if you want to say that, you can absolutely say that. You can challenge people. You can question people. You can do all of that in this country. And when you disagree with the point that somebody else is making in these statements, remember, we still have to protect the right to say it. So regardless of where you are on whether or not there should be Pride nights and the whole issue of Pride night, I'm setting all of that aside for right now, because the idea of people criticizing this Philadelphia Flyers hockey player for making a decision that's based on his personal foundation for life, good on him for standing up for what he believes in. Colin Kaepernick did the same thing. He stood up for what he believed in by kneeling down, and I disagreed with his sentiment, and I said that out loud. I thought it was a poor way to advocate his message. And the direction that he took it in didn't seem to be one that was actually rooted in the idea of improving and providing an opportunity and avenue for progress. My criticism is allowed there. You don't have to agree with that either. And as soon as you let go of that, tether to the idea that we all have to come to an agreement on something, and you just got to really work hard to make sure that it's what you think and what you believe. As soon as you let go of that burden, it is a burden to think that your job is to persuade everybody to how you see things. If you let go of that burden and you wait to have conversations with people who are interested in how you see things, who care about your perspective, not about coming to the same conclusion at the end of that conversation. But if you are having those difficult, diametrically opposed conversations with people in your life who actually care more about you than they care about coming to the same conclusion at the end, that's where progress is made. And it starts with listening. Not with judging, but with listening. And you can't listen and learn if everybody out there is saying the same thing that you believe, if it's an echo chamber. You've got to be able to hear people who dissent, who disagree, and who are doing a little bit of judgment. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show right after a few messages here. Your votes on the YouTube live chat poll. We can talk about it here in the studio. In 2024, Trump or someone else? We'll be right back.
Say I keep a check. She was a bad, nevertheless. Calling it quits now, baby, I'm a wreck. Crash at my place, baby, you're a wreck.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Calling it quits now, baby, I'm a wreck. Crash at my place, baby, you're a wreck. Thinking in a bad way, losing your grip. Screaming at my face, baby, don't trip. Someone
I'm Howard Mackler of GetRefunds.com. You might have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund for businesses who kept employees on payroll during COVID. But today, I'm not going to do the talking. I'm letting a real Get Refunds client tell you everything.
Hello, I'm Steve, certified arborist and owner of New Century Tree and Lawn. I heard about the payroll tax refund and GetRefunds.com on the radio. When COVID hit my business, we dealt with shutdowns, strict sanitation procedures, and many extra expenses. Since then, we have been affected by product and labor shortages and massive inflation. GetRefunds.com got me approved for the payroll tax refund. With that money, it has allowed me to cover expenses, pay off debts, and plan ahead for next year with a positive outlook. If you have a business, you need to go to GetRefunds.com and start your claim now.
GetRefunds.com helped their business, and we can help yours too. Go to GetRefunds.com and see if you qualify in just 8 minutes. GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
Your comfort zone is a call away. How's your furnace doing? Is it doing the trick? Is it heating your home? Call Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091. I love Air Comfort Service. I know the people at Air Comfort Service, the Malone family, Corey and Kendra. They've been in here to play X's and O's. These are really good people. And I want to make sure that you understand that when you have people who have partnered with 97.1 for so long, like Air Comfort Service does, they value you. They're, we have a show here. We've got a great audience and a great thing going. But the really important thing is you. They are investing in you. They are investing in talking to you and meeting you and accessing you because they care about you. And your furnace in your home, your HVAC system, the insulation in your house, super uninsulated or under insulated houses, I should say, 9 out of 10 of them. Right now, you're punching a lot of energy into your house and it's not doing the trick because your house is under insulated. You can have a brand new furnace and it's still not going to be able to keep you in your comfort zone. When you reach out and call Air Comfort Service, like I said, you're calling people who are here with you on 97.1 and have been for so long. They're incredibly important to us here in the station. They're incredibly important to me in the show. And if you have HVAC needs in your house, I hope you'll let them earn your business. 314-513-0091. Find them online, aircomfortservice.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Congressman Mike Boss. Some of the best research in the world is done at Jefferson Barracks as far as exoskeletons, allowing our quadriplegic and paraplegic to be able to move.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I just want to stay in the sun where I find. I know it's hard sometimes.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Way too much, but it's fun to fantasize. All my enemies who wouldn't wish who I was, but it's fun to fantasize. Oh, I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, I'm falling, so I'm taking.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. A Joe Concha tweet from last night caught my attention. He said, in all my years of covering this stuff, I have never seen anything like this before. One show at 5 p.m. on Fox News, The Five, beats 7 hours of programming combined on CNN.
Holy cow.
That's not good. No. That's very bad for CNN. I it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, we get ratings on this show. We're quasi-judged by them. TV, of course, gets ratings as well. And this was for Friday, January 13th. Let's see, 1 through 17, the top 17 shows were all Fox News shows. All In with Chris Hayes is the first non-Fox show that comes in at number 18. And then the next one is The Beat with A. Melber. I don't even know who that is. Should I know who that is? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just really don't. So then there are 5 MSNBC shows, and then the Fox and Friends Fox News 6 a.m. hour comes in at 23. What does that mean? If you have the top 17 rated shows are all on Fox News, I mean, how does a different network maintain what they're doing? And I mean, CNN is not in maintenance mode. They are in purge mode. How do they maintain what they're doing without going, clear the table, we're starting over? And there's an incredible distinction between what Fox News is offering, what MSNBC is offering, what CNN has offered in the past. There is a huge open opportunity, in my opinion, for CNN to figure out how to go straight news.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you do it under the CNN brand? I mean, I almost think that with the right people, you could revive it if you did it straight news all the time.
Yeah, that would be tough. The interesting thing there is the demographics and who they're pandering to in general doesn't watch cable news. You know?
So you say who they're pandering to, because Fox News with the top 17 shows, are they pandering? I mean, you have to call it what it is. It's entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
We have turned news into an entertainment industry, which I am partially grateful for here on our show. I mean, there are people who will criticize me because this happens a lot during the election season. Like, they want me to talk to this person or talk about this specific issue. And they'll tell me, like, your job is to make sure that the Republican Party is blah, blah. And I'm like, it's actually not in any way, shape, or form my job. I am here from noon to 3 to provide an entertaining, first and foremost, because I know a lot of things that are really informative that are not entertaining, like pamphlets in a doctor's office. You get a lot of information there, and you're like, ooh, don't want that. Don't need to learn about that ointment. Ugh. But if we're not entertaining, it doesn't much matter. And so we have to be entertaining, but I also want to be informative. I also care passionately and deeply about a lot of things that you care passionately and deeply about. I also am an ignoramus about a lot of things that a lot of people care deeply about. And I'm not going to feign interest or intellect in those things if I don't have it. I just can't do it. If you've listened to the show for any amount of time, you probably have a good idea of where I'm pretty well-versed and where I am not. So that is entertainment. But there has to be some sort of value. I mean, if you want to watch entertainment, you can stream Netflix. You can put on a movie on HBO Max. There's a lot of ways that you can put something on your TV and be entertained. The top 17 shows are all on Fox News. Then you have 5 shows from MSNBC, 1 more Fox News show, then 4 more shows from MSNBC. The Lead with Jake Tapper comes in at number 28. The 5 p.m. hour is the first showing for CNN. That's not sustainable. If you revisit the 2020 election, the 2016 election, the 2012 election, the midterms that go in there, multiple impeachments of a president of the United States, scandals that have happened on both sides of the aisle, all of it. They are all shaded by the media. And bias is not just how you report on stories. It is even more so if you report on stories. I would assume, I'm looking at these ratings going, ooh, CNN is having some tough backroom meetings right now. about making decisions. Because the other thing is if you don't have ratings, it's hard to sell advertisers if you sell on ratings. If you have a super passionate audience like we do, we deliver amazing results on 97.1. Anytime you're going to do a spoken word product, it doesn't reach as many people as a music brand does, because you might put a music station on in your dentist office, and how many people get to hear that? How many people are going to put 97.1 on casually in their I mean, if you did, that would be awesome. But that's not the way it works. I get that. But I have people in my own family, my own friends who won't even who hate me because of who I am on the radio. I'm sorry that this is who I am and that's the only thing that's important to you. I, of course, don't think that 97.1 is going to be on in a super broad area to be consumed by just random people coming and going. Cable news is going to have a dedicated, passionate audience. And that's how you sell advertising. If CNN, their top show at 5 p.m. is coming in number 28. Yikes. That's troublesome. Something has to change. Something has to give. Have the political parties, specifically the Democratic Party and the non-Fox News entities, have they relied on the success of these networks for their own political success in D.C. and across the country? Have they? Would you say, Brad?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, if you had a platform where you can go out, get your message out, get no pushback, no questions, nothing, even when you're not there, they're advocating for what your policies and stances are while actively attacking the other side's policies and stances. I think that's a tremendous asset to that group of people.
Think about the first impeachment of Donald Trump that had to do with the Russian disinformation and the stealing of an election and so on and so forth. That whole Steele dossier was being shopped around to media outlets. And places like MSNBC and CNN were like, there's not enough here for us to do this. Good for them. BuzzFeed was like, there's plenty there. We'll do it. When an entity like that reports it, then what ends up happening is CNN, MSNBC, these other outlets get to say, reports are, sources say, and then the story gets out there. If you remember, I think it was in the Horowitz, one of his initial releases. I can't remember. It's been so long. Wish I would have asked Hans this. But part of the kind of motivation that existed behind the FBI's participation in furthering this, the FISA warrant to spy on an American citizen, was based on what was going on in the media. So you don't even really need to. Nobody's going, we're not gonna give this FISA warrant merit when you're just talking about CNN. They're just number 27. Nobody's saying that. No one's like, if it's not on Fox News, it's not in the media. Nobody is saying that. It just needs to get out there. And if you have compliance in the media, I think everybody who watches Fox News, and folks, there are a ton of people who are not on the right who watch Fox News. I think people who watch Fox News understand what they're consuming when they watch it. If you're watching primetime, you're getting conservative commentary on what's taking place in the news. Post Brett Baier, you're getting conservative thought leaders leading with conservative thoughts. But if you watch during the day, they do cover the news. You have news anchors, reporters who are providing what is going on in the day. And then they have people from opposing sides articulate their opposing sides. And when they do, I have broad enough shoulders to say that they're more combative with the people on the left, generally speaking, than they are when they're on the right. But the left has the opportunity to go up there and say something. The left has the opportunity to make their case every time. I have turned on CNN and I have turned on MSNBC. When I turn those channels on, it is solely for the purpose to see how long I can watch those channels to find somebody who articulates where I'm coming from. Somebody who is put up on that set to represent something that resembles me and where I come from. There's nobody. There's nobody. Not a person. Republican strategist Adam Kinzinger reports on how much Donald Trump sucks. Okay, I'm out. I can't handle this. Liz Cheney. Like it was Mitt Romney for a while. Anna Navarro, go back in time and look at Anna Navarro was a Republican strategist. You can't just put the word on the screen and everyone goes, oh, they're very bipartisan. Have you heard Anna Navarro? She's a Republican strategist. Stop. Just knock it off. I think that, I'm happy for Fox News. I think they do a wonderful job. I think that they are the fairest thing that is out there right now. But that's not to say that they are 100% non-biased and bipartisan right down the middle. That would be foolish to say.
Right.
But I think that they do a fair job. And I think that these other sides, either there isn't enough interest out there on the left to support them, that entity in our country isn't large enough, which based on recent elections, I would challenge that. Those numbers don't seem to match up. Or option C, the people who are not watching cable news, like maybe these top 17 shows are super users and it's like 100% of the conservative right is invested in cable news. And the rest of the people who don't like that, they just don't care. And they're just going to vote the way they're going to vote without really having to tune in to hear what's going on or to hear what other people think about it. I'm not 100% sure I know what it is. But I do believe that if this continues to be the trend and with the dramatic shakeup that has already taken place at CNN, that this will have real implications on what happens in the 2024 election. Speaking of the 2024 election, go to the YouTube poll today on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. In 2024, Trump or someone else? Go vote in today's YouTube live chat poll and leave a comment as to why you voted the way you did. I would love to hear what you think about that. And when we come back, Brad, you got an answer for that question?
I sure do.
Let's see if Ryan Wiggins is out there investigating things. Is his Fed hat on forwards or backwards? Somebody find out. If it's on backwards, leave him alone. He's working. We'll be right back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Losing weight is hard. That is obvious. It seems easy to put it on, but the chances are the weight that you're thinking about losing, it's been kind of, knocking at the back of your mind, and it's there and it's pervasive. The weight that you have gained over the course of time probably took longer than you really think. So of course it's going to take a while to lose it. But here's the thing that I want you to know. You lose a lot faster with Slim 180. Slim 180 helps you drop those pounds in kind of light speed fashion. When you learn about their nutritional guidance program, that's one of the programs that I have done with them to kind of knock off a few extra pounds after the HCG program, where I lost about 28 pounds in a month. You are able to build healthy habits, create a lifestyle that you can maintain without the support of a counselor and the help to drop that weight and drop it fast. Slim 180 walks you through the whole plan. They support you through the whole plan. They want to be the first person to celebrate your success. Don't put it off any longer. Lose the weight with Slim 180. Reach out to them and mention the Annie Frey Show when you do it. myslim180.com.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
Annie Frey here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friend Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you strategies on how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Annie Frey Show. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The voice for hardworking, free-thinking Americans.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
You got a reaction. You got a reaction, didn't you? You took a run on it. You took a run on it.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I keep the truth from showing up. How dare you? How are you now anyway? How dare you? How are you now anyway?
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I guess I picked the song. What is the song? Does anybody know it?
It doesn't say on the list.
That is called Blue Orchid by White Stripes.
Is it?
Yeah. It's on the album Get Behind Me, Satan. Just FYI.
He says that with such confidence, and he could still be lying.
It's because he knows Satan.
Is it because he's a Fed?
Yeah.
I said, get behind me, Satan, because that's what Jesus said, Brad.
Yeah, Jesus also didn't lie about being a Fed.
How do I answer that? No matter what I say, you're going to say that's what a Fed would say.
It's exactly what a Fed would say.
Because it's so obvious.
Jesus didn't lie about being a Fed. Man, that was quick.
If you don't understand what we're talking about, we've discovered something today on the Annie Frey Show, and it all started in the pre-show. Before we go live, usually about 12:05 here on the Annie Frey Show, we queue up the YouTube live a few minutes ahead of time and give you a little primer on what the show is going to entail. That's what it's supposed to be. Usually it's just Ryan talking about his personal life. And today
that's true.
No, it is. Like I every day have to go, let's talk about the show. And then Hannah takes over and does her thing. But today's Ryan Wiggins personal life discussion was about whether his hat should be worn forwards or backwards. And it was then that we realized that he looks exactly like a Fed.
I look like a Fed trying to be a normal person.
You just look like you're trying to be a normal person.
Well, then
what a
I
Fed would
also
do.
meet the definition of an alien, because that's what an alien would do. I'm just here being a normal person.
How do you know that's what an alien would do?
Because I'm a Fed.
Okay.
We know things.
Man, I didn't think you were going to have a good answer for that, but you did. Today's YouTube live chat poll, if you haven't visited us there, we want you to go give us your thoughts on this question. In 2024, Trump or someone else? I didn't put a lot of, confining parameters around this. What do you think, Brad? What are you saying?
Someone else.
You want or it's going to be?
It's going to be. I think it's going to be Ron DeSantis.
Why? because the
Why?
Fed told you.
Yeah. The
Because
Fed
of
was
that
so
super PAC
convincing
money?
in his Fed Wiggins America segment.
Do you think that Ron DeSantis enters the primary along with 6 or 7 other people and wins? Do you think that Ron DeSantis says, yeah, I'm going to run, and everyone goes, go get him, and steps aside?
No, I don't think everybody steps aside, but I don't think it'll be like 6 or 7 different people. I think it'll be like 2 or 3 other people beside him.
Who?
Ooh, this is gonna sound dumb. What's his name? John Bolton?
Oh, he's announced. That's right. That doesn't sound dumb. I mean, it's dumb that he's doing it.
It's dumb that he's
It's
gonna
dumb
do
that
it.
he's doing it, but it's not a dumb.
Can you imagine him having enough of a percentage of votes to even make the debates?
I'm
today?
actually impressed that you remember that because I completely forgot,
Yeah,
which is
that
how
was-
well it's going for him.
I think Larry Hogan is going to enter because I think he's
the
painting
governor of Maryland.
Maryland, yeah, he's going to paint himself as the moderate, the one that can bring the country together. That's going to be his lane, which is
Not
ironic.
what Republicans want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not gonna. It's not gonna.
Not
get
gonna win the Republican
4% of people going.
And
maybe that guy.
That basically what that campaign is. I'm a Republican who doesn't want to do the Trump thing. I want to be everyone's BFF.
Yeah, and I think that
Quote me.
the third one will be.
I think you just quoted Eric Swalwell.
Nikki Haley would be the third. So those would be my 3 best bets beside Ron DeSantis.
I think it's going to be Mike Pompeo, who I think is a vice presidential candidate for sure, for Trump or for Ron DeSantis. I think Nikki Haley might run, but I think that Nikki Haley is waiting to see. I think Nikki Haley probably has great VP vibes. And I don't think that I think Nikki Haley would absolutely be Donald Trump's VP. And for everybody who's like, they were fighting, blah, 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 blah. Do you remember Kamala Harris and Joe Biden?
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, everyone's talking about, I heard Kellyanne Conway on Kilmeade right before our show came on, and they were listing off people who may challenge Trump. And she, said Nikki Haley came out really harsh on the January 6th thing right away, but then she kind of softened to that. And then she promised she wouldn't run against him. But then she also said that she was considering it. So she was kind of being soft on that. There's nobody making a promise in politics that matters.
Mm-mm.
Because how hard is it to say, well, the circumstances have really changed and we have inflation at 3,000% and we have people trying to keep our kids from being able to enjoy the fruits of their own labor based on their skin color in schools across America. And they are trying to indoctrinate our children. And we've got an open border and the stakes are just too high for me to sit this one out. And so I've decided that I'm going to run for the presidency of the United States. Everyone goes, yeah, that makes sense. And you move on. Yeah. You're not like, you broke your word. Some people will say that for a minute, but you get a week past it and it's yesterday's news. Look at how the Republicans were slap fighting in the first week of January. Everything's fine now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kristi Noem might throw her hat in the ring. Glenn Youngkin, Mike Pompeo. I do think Mike Pence is going to do it. I don't think it's going to last. So I think there could be quite a few people that a Trump and possibly DeSantis are up against in a primary. I just don't think that many of them are going to garner much. I think you're right about Hogan. I would have forgotten about him. John Bolton.
Do you remember who is the guy from Utah?
Oh, Evan McMullen?
No.
Mitt Romney?
No.
Mike Lee?
No.
That's it. That's the only 3 people from Utah.
No, his daughter was on The View. Burnett.
Daughter on The View.
Was a Fox News contributor.
Oh, Tommy Behar?
Yes. The Honorable Tommy Behar. Who had the audacity to breed. No, not him.
Yeah, he gets a no vote just for that.
Tommy Behar, the brother to Tommy Bahama.
You're talking about Jimmy Goldberg.
No, I'm talking about someone's commenting. Why am I not looking at the comments? Because somebody here knows who I'm talking about. Nope.
I would help and look this up, but I really don't know who you're talking about.
I've told you everything. I can describe him. He was kind of small.
He's from Utah.
Yeah.
He's
Did you
short
see?
man.
Did
Napoleon
you see?
Bonaparte.
Not Orrin Hatch.
God, now I can't think of the movie that.
He was in a movie.
3
That narrows it down.
This is terrible radio.
3 syllables.
She doesn't even know that.
Not Carl Malone. No, not John Stockton. Some people from the Utah Jazz. Hey, I know what I'm talking about. Almost all of it.
What's it, Carl Malone?
Gosh dang it. I'll just
The
look.
mailman.
Who?
2016 GOP primary. Thanks, guys, for Googling this for me.
More
I'm
fun
looking it
list.
up right now. Craig Smith.
No.
No? Utah Utes men's basketball
He was
coach.
an ambassador to China. He was a Chinese expert. A China expert.
I'm still sticking with Craig Smith.
No.
No?
His daughter was on Fox News. She's brunette. She's beautiful. She went to The View. She did that thing for a while. Not Dennis Rodman. Stop it, people. G-Whip says, oh boy, charades on the radio. Oh, man. This is where you toe the line between, is this great radio or am I fired? I'm not really 100% sure.
Okay, quote.
I'm
So
thinking
if
his
you put
name
it-
is Chad, and his name is definitely not Chad.
If you put it in quotes on Google, I understand they have to find that exact phrase. So his daughter was on The View, in quotes. It looks like there aren't many great matches for your search, sir.
Was it 2012?
Google told me that. Google told me there are no matches for that.
It's because you Googled wrong.
What? Wait a minute. I might have found it. Is it Renee Horstman?
I hate you. Go away, Fed. Who?
Nah, never mind. That's Pennsylvania. It just says, let's not forget that, quote, his daughter was on The View. That's the only result that Google had.
I wish I knew what to tease when we were coming back after this break, but
No, we will not have this name when we come
oh
back.
yeah,
from
we
the
will.
break.
say
I
we're
will.
not going to come back.
I'm not coming back on the show until I do.
I don't think people should come back.
John Huntsman,
John Huntsman.
Huntsman.
Just like that movie about Snow White.
Former governor of Utah and former ambassador to China, dropped out on January 15th of the 2012 election.
Good job. Just under the wire, too.
Mhm.
And now, Blue
I actually
Orchid.
didn't have anything else to cover, so I just needed to take it to 5650.
You knew his name the whole time, didn't
I
you?
did not. If that wasn't explicitly clear. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. I'm sorry, this was a terrible segment. We'll be right back.
If you've been thinking about vision correction in the new year, there's no better time to get it than right now. Mark Cox, for my friends at Brenton Vision, they have everything you need to help achieve that crisp, clear vision you deserve. Call them at 314-375-2020 or go online at brentonvision.com. Brenton is the home to the only team in Missouri to perform all 7 FDA-approved forms of modern vision correction. That's modern LASIK, permanent contact lenses, and if you have bad reading vision, they even have treatments for that too. Do what our friend Jessica from O'Fallon, Missouri did. Go to Brenton Vision for a consultation. See what you're a candidate for. Jessica told us to be able to see clearly without the use of glasses is such an incredible feeling. So if bad vision is standing in your way, call Brenton Vision, 314-375-2020, or schedule right now at brentonvision.com. That's brentonvision.com.
Just type in the old igotfloored.com in the browser there, and Michael's Flooring Outlet pops right up for you to shop. You can check out their homepage. Welcome the new year with new floors. Here's something that's right around the bend. I think it's January 23rd. I just looked this up. It's like when they first start taking your tax filing. Is January 23rd, I think, is the first day you can do that, which would be next Monday. Tax returns are coming in, and if you are going to get a return and you want to invest it in your home, I want you to consider shopping at Michael's Flooring Outlet for that flooring redo that you want to put in your house. If you want to get rid of the old dingy and put in something beautiful that you're going to want to show off to all your guests, your family, and your friends, Michael's Flooring Outlet can walk you through that process. They can help you with an estimate. They can help you navigate the different types of technologies and different types of flooring that will look like hardwood, maybe aren't hardwood, or if you really want that hardwood, you can go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. They've got that there as well. Check out the Mohawk Smart Strand brand for carpet. It's beautiful. It's all online at igotfloored.com.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis is designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late-day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. That's right, seminars, Wednesday, February 1st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, St. Louis Airport in St. Louis, and Thursday, February 2nd at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis, Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminar.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. A new report on a Supreme Court leak on Lisa Brady. After months of investigating the leaked draft opinion on overturning Roe versus Wade last year, the U.S. Supreme Court says it has not found the source. The report reveals 82 employees could have had access to that draft, and they've conducted more than 100 interviews.
They've narrowed it, but they haven't gotten to a name or a person. Now, they say they are continuing to review and process some electronic data that has been collected, and a few other inquiries remain pending. And if they find something there, the investigators will continue. So this is not over yet.
Fox's Shannon Bream. The report also says former Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff was brought in to also investigate and found he wouldn't have done anything differently than what the court's marshal was doing. But again, for now, that probe continues. The White House says it's up to Congress to avoid default as the nation hits its borrowing limit.
Congress must address this without conditions, as they did 3 times under Donald Trump, with bipartisan support.
Deputy Press Secretary Olivia Dalton also repeating the White House will not negotiate on the issue as some Republicans push for a deal to rein in spending. Dalton speaking to reporters on Air Force One as the president visits California after a string of deadly storms. Actor Alec Baldwin could face up to 5 years in prison over the fatal shooting on a movie set in 2021.
The district attorney in Santa Fe, New Mexico says actor Alec Baldwin and crew member Hannah Gutierrez-Reed are charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Gutierrez-Reed was the armorer on the film set Rust, in charge of weapons used during filming. Baldwin says he was told the gun he was practicing with was safe, but when he pulled the trigger, a bullet killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins and injured director Joel Souza. In a statement, Baldwin's attorney says he had no reason to believe there was a real bullet in the gun or anywhere on set. Gutierrez-Reed's attorney says these charges are the result of a very flawed investigation.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Hutchins' family says the charges are warranted. America is listening to Fox News.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-404-GOLD.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Here comes a very weak cool front coming across the area. It's kind of a secondary cold front, maybe a sprinkle of rain this afternoon, a fair amount of clouds. Big deal, it stays windy, 45. Tonight, cloudy, colder, windy, 28. Friday, lots of sunshine, still windy and 42. Saturday, sunny, less wind, 42 again. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Attention. Per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits every month with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to your home or business each month absolutely free. Just visit testkitforfree.com to begin the registration process. When completed, Tiero Health, a trusted source for next-generation healthcare, will submit a claim to your insurance provider. There is no deductible and no copay. Your 8-month monthly tests will ship directly to your home or business for free. Go to testkitforfree.com. COVID-19 and its variants are still here, so take the worry out of searching for time-sensitive tests by registering you and your family today. Visit testkitforfree.com to register from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you at no cost. Just visit testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by TRO Health.
So it's almost the end of January already, which means spring cleaning is right around the corner. I want you to have Closet Factory in your mind, especially when it comes to your garage. Stop for a second. Picture the side of your garage that you work in, or how you're trying to maneuver the fact that you can't really fit both cars in the garage because you got the stuff in there. What if everything had a place? The Closet Factory, yeah, they do master bedroom closets and they do pantries or they do craft rooms or entertainment centers, but they also do customized garage storage. This is game changing for people who are looking to finally get their garage in full functioning order. Think about the vertical space you have in your garage that you are not using as well as you should be. The Closet Factory can come in and give you customized storage, customized exactly to your unique needs in your garage, and you can have it all ready for the summer when you're going to be using the garage in and out every day for all sorts of different reasons. Start the conversation today, though. Have a free consultation. Get your garage in order. What an amazing gift this would be for your loved one who likes to spend the time out there, but just is always crawling through all the stuff. You can find them online at closetfactory.com.
There's nothing worse than when a sewer pipe bursts.
Holy, call Hoffman Brothers!
From drain clogs to full sewer service, Hoffman Brothers will clear out whatever is in your way. They'll diagnose your problem without the guesswork using our high-tech camera. Hoffman Brothers has been fixing St. Louis with great service and customer satisfaction for over 40 years. So if your basement starts to smell, we're the ones to tell.
Holy, call Hoffman Brothers!
314-664-3011. Or go to hoffmanbros.com.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Make the switch to green soaps and personal products and green cleaning products for the sink and shower. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Free speech has a home. 97.1 FM Talk.
Your home for conservative talk.
One of the only places where conservative ideas aren't shut out of the conversation.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on a Saturday, and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
It's Thursday. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy to have you here. It's a short week for a lot of folks, so we're marching closer to the weekend. Are you guys, Brad and Ryan, are you guys paying attention to Alec Baldwin and this story?
I'm paying attention to the fact that it is a story.
I am.
You're way more interested in this than I am.
I love this.
What set the tone for if people, because it's a headline today.
Yeah. So I like when I say I love this, I don't mean like it is an incredibly tragic situation, but what has happened is that Alec Baldwin was on the set of a movie. There was a live round and one of the prop guns. He allegedly pulled the trigger and it shot. Yeah. He said the gun just went off. Said that, and the was the director of photography, I think is what her role was. Mm-hmm. She was shot and killed. And now, so this has been under investigation since all that went down, which is several months ago. And now the DA's has announced that they are charging him with, I believe it's involuntary manslaughter.
4th degree involuntary manslaughter. Alec Baldwin sat down and did an interview a while back with George Stephanopoulos where he said, I didn't pull a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Emily Campagno on Outnumbered earlier today. She's a lawyer, super feisty, and very, very well-versed and educated in this type of stuff. People were saying that his lawyers, on the panel, people were suggesting that Alec Baldwin's lawyers are sending him out here and he's saying these things and this is stupid. And she said, I respectfully disagree. She goes, what he's doing is trying to salvage his acting career.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes out there and says, I didn't pull the trigger, or when he's making these public, like he can't stop talking about this. Like the lead voice on this is Alec Baldwin's defending himself as if he's the victim here. I mean, he really believes he's the victim here. He believes somebody did this to him to do this to her. And it's pretty unbelievable this far out that this is still a story that is coming up and being a part of the news cycle over a year after the fact. Is the fact that it's Alec Baldwin, do you think, Brad, if you're following the story, do you think that the fact that it's Alec Baldwin is affecting any of the outcome of this? Or do you feel in your judgment that you've seen so far that they've been doing this pretty much by the book?
I think they've been doing this by the book. I think that if Alec Baldwin is involved in it, if anything, it slows the process down because they want to make sure that they, cross all their T's, dot all their I's, all of that other fun stuff, because he's such a high profile thing, a high profile individual in this. I don't think Alec Baldwin feels good about what happened. I think he feels sick to his stomach.
Yeah.
All this other stuff. But it's just fascinating to me that, of all, like, he's such a big gun control advocate. And I look at this and now he's like, it's not my fault. It was somebody did this and somebody did that. And like the number one thing amongst the gun owner community, shooting enthusiasts and stuff like that is if you have a weapon, it is your responsibility. At the end of the day, the buck stops with you. You check to make sure it's clear. You check to make sure that there's, you don't aim it at somebody. Like there are rules, every gun, you treat every gun as though it's loaded. You never aim your gun at something that you're not willing to destroy.
But being on the set of a movie, it's different. It's the same, but it's different because you're acting as though you're shooting somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but this was during a rehearsal, wasn't it?
I mean, they were filming.
So like, and my thing is this,
when he shot her, I think they were rehearsing a scene, but it was while they were filming. You know what I'm saying? Like he was standing there and I think he was articulating, I'm going to do this. And then I think I should do that. And they were setting up the scene that they were about to do. Do you know the details at all?
I know that's pretty close to what it was as far as I've read. I mean, it's been a while since I've read about it, but yeah, that sounds about right. And we've had this discussion before, you and I, Brad, that I actually kind of involuntary manslaughter seems like it's the right charge here because he wasn't trying to kill anybody.
I don't think he set out to murder her. No,
it was negligence.
Yeah.
But even negligence, it was, and it has to be. It has to be negligence because that's the rules, that's the law. But man, the reason it's a story is because he is a gun rights or a gun control advocate.
Well, and he also, somebody died.
And somebody died. He's a major celebrity and he shot them. That's a big story.
I think that I actually think that this would be a bigger story if he was a gun advocate.
Well, I think you're right. Either way, if he has a stance on guns going into this and then kills somebody on the set of a movie and he's Alec Baldwin, a huge celebrity, it's a big story.
Mm-hmm.
Fox News reports Helena died when a gun Alec Baldwin was holding fired while practicing a scene on October 21st of 2021. The group had been rehearsing in a small church on the Bonanza Creek Ranch set. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department has spent the last year investigating how live rounds made it onto the movie set. Armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed and Assistant Director Dave Halls were the only other crew members believed to have handled the gun that fired on set. Gutierrez-Reed's attorneys said in a statement that they gave to Fox, never in a million years did Hannah think that live rounds could have been in the dummy round box. Who put those in there and why is the central question. That seems like a valid question.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the questions I've had since the beginning. And it's where Brad and I parted, is that there are people on that set who is entirely, their only reason they're there is to do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so does that mean that Alec Baldwin is completely has no culpability? No, but there's so much pressure on a movie set because so much money is being spent every single minute you're there that you got to get it done. And so I get why you wouldn't check your rounds, because there's somebody else's job to do that. So I'm kind of defending Alec Baldwin here, and I'll do it again because I think that it's unfortunate for him.
And let me add another wrinkle to this story. He wasn't just an actor in the movie; he was a producer.
Yeah, you never really know what that means, though.
Well,
whether that was
it
just
means that he had a
title
stake. It's at least a title. When you have that title, you have responsibility. And so are they looking at him as being negligent? Because I know that with that armorer that they were talking about, that she had never done anything like that before. And are they looking at him as negligent because he hired somebody for the position?
Well,
wasn't qualified.
We don't really know what producer means, because a lot of times, I got Alec Baldwin to be in my movie. Okay, I'll pay you X amount for acting, but I'll also give you a producer credit.
Well, who cares though? If you get the producer credit and you're not doing anything, and that comes with the accolades of being producer, you still have the responsibilities. Like if you're getting faux accolades for producing something, you're getting the consequences along with it. So, I mean, just because producer doesn't necessarily mean he had specific duties, he still has the responsibility of bearing that name.
I get what you're saying, but there's probably also about 15 to 20 other people with the title of producer.
Well, then they should care about what that means.
It all means different things.
But they
didn't. Production.
They didn't pull the trigger.
No, they didn't.
I mean,
and he
apparently he didn't either.
But even putting producer on him, nobody even knows what that means, because he could have been.
It doesn't matter what it means. Like I'm arguing with your point, saying that a producer could mean anything, because it denotes a level of responsibility and buy-in, regardless of whether he maintained it. If he wanted to be paid more money so he could have that title, he doesn't get to say, well, I didn't have a hand in that. He just doesn't get that. He doesn't get that pass.
Well, right. On the contract, because the contract could read that he had no culpability as a producer. It's just a union title.
Well,
like it could actually say that.
He should care more then.
Well, okay.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like if negligence is the thing, and he was a producer, but he doesn't really want the producer responsibilities,
that's
then
negligent.
He was being negligent of his responsibilities as a producer.
Well, what if all of the people who were producers then also were held to the same account?
They didn't shoot they didn't kill the person.
But then you have to say then producer doesn't really matter. Then if you're not going to hold all those people accountable for being producers who should have been overseeing
I disagree
the
with
guns.
That. I mean, he's the one who has the gun in his hand, and for instance, me on this show, I have a responsibility to the show with my name on it that you don't. And I have to care enough about that responsibility as the host of this show. I mean, I could be a host of a show and do very little work and require a lot of everybody who's around me and put in minimal effort. And the people on the outside might think that I'm laboring away and really I'm like making Ryan Wiggins write reports for me to read that are my own, and I'm not, and I've got Brad, doing everything all day, every day is probably how he feels for the show. and I sit around and I do nothing. That could be the case. And on the outside looking in, people are like, oh, she's the host of the show. She works all the time, blah, blah, blah. I say this as myself involved because it's what I eat, sleep, and breathe is this show. The only thing more important to me than the show is my faith and my family. But if you're going to take on the responsibility of being the host of a show and something goes awry, Ryan, if you say something irresponsible on this show,
couldn't happen.
False. I am still going to be in the wake of that because it's my baby. So by putting you on the show, man, I am taking a risk that you or that Brad or that Hannah or that anybody who we bring in this show, even if I'm not the one who says it, I'm still in the reach of it. And that's kind of what a producer and a director of a movie is. There's a level of responsibility.
You're a steward.
Yes. And you have to care. And I mean, technically you could say, oh, well, they didn't we gave him that name, but it didn't really mean anything. I mean, it doesn't mean anything until it should. And there are a lot of people who are getting away with what you're talking about here is a title that probably comes with a paycheck on the regular. But in my opinion, that's not a pass that he gets in this instance.
Well, it legally probably isn't at all. In fact, it probably looks worse that he's producer for that reason, because legally,
that's the point we're making.
You're on the line.
That's what we're saying.
The point I'm making is that I do feel bad because the industry norm, especially if you're a celebrity that can carry a movie, because a lot of times these movies don't get made until a celebrity steps into them. Say you want to get Paul Rudd in your latest comedy. Hey, Paul, I'll also give you executive producer credit, which gets you an extra X amount forever on this movie that you wouldn't get as an actor. Oh, great deal. I'll step into that. That's just industry norm stuff. But does he have anything to do with the production of it? Probably not. But then legally,
we're saying the same thing over and over and over.
If something like this does happen, he probably is culpable.
Correct, which is the whole point. Yeah. And if you're going to be legally culpable about it and not care until we're talking about the legal culpability of some sort of title, you are playing fast and loose with a risky game. And he's on the wrong side of it right now because he was holding a gun that went off. I mean, like Brad said, the speed with which you try to produce these things and stay on track and stay on budget and stay on schedule and everything, that all matters because the bottom line always matters. If people were cutting corners and you are a producer of this, but you didn't care enough about that producer title to actually be an active producer in it, of course you're responsible for that.
Well, and the other part of it is if you're trying, minutes count, but you're cutting corners, that in itself is negligent.
I don't know what they may not have been.
They may not have been.
We don't know.
But somehow or another, what we know is a live round made it into that gun. That gun went off, and that gun was in the hand of Alec Baldwin.
The assistant director, Dave Halls, allegedly handed Baldwin a .45 revolver, telling him that it was cold, which means safe. Prior to that, Gutierrez Reed spun the cylinder to show Halls what was in the gun, her lawyer said. Baldwin has maintained that he did not pull the trigger of the gun. Once during a primetime interview shortly following the deadly shooting, and again on a podcast episode. The actor originally said he had pulled the hammer of the gun back as far as he could and released it, but did not pull the trigger. Carmack Altwies named Baldwin specifically in her request for emergency funding to prosecute the case. The DA explained that she anticipated prosecuting up to 4 individuals, possibly including Baldwin. The Rust prosecution could potentially be prosecutions from 1 to 4 defendants. One of the possible defendants is well-known movie actor Alec Baldwin, who now has been charged with 4th-degree involuntary manslaughter.
1 of 4? Is that what that said?
Mm-hmm.
This is an original report on the situation, which is culminated now. But I mean, it's certainly... There are questions that need to be answered that, if I'm Alec Baldwin, I am wondering, who put a live round in this gun? Are you freaking kidding me? Like, how does that even happen? Does Alec Baldwin have a responsibility to check that himself? And when he's putting a gun in his hand that he's going to be pointing at people, know to look into that gun and to trust but verify? Man, if you've ever felt like trusting somebody handing you a gun and not verifying, you should probably change your philosophy on that now. It's a really sad story, and I think that Alec Baldwin is responsible for his actions, but I just think it's a tragedy. Sometimes there are things that happen that are accidents and maybe due to negligence, and you think, how could somebody do that? But then you look at it and you go, I could see how potentially, in maybe in other instances in your life, maybe I wouldn't have been paying so much attention to the details, and wow, that could have gone really bad. So that's sad. I think it's sad all around. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show in just a minute.
It's just a cruel existence, like it's no point hoping at all.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show. The NFL playoffs live on Odyssey.
Caught!
Touchdown as time expires. Unbelievable turn of events.
Non-stop coverage from the biggest sports radio stations in the country. Podcasts dedicated to each NFL team and postseason games streaming live for free.
Takes the handoff, looks right, throws right, end zone, caught, touchdown.
Your playoffs, your Odyssey. Get in the game and download the free Odyssey app today.
So let's talk about your dentist. Let's talk about, do you have a dentist? Foley Dental Group is accepting new patients. When you're choosing a dentist, or if you're thinking about switching, or maybe you just haven't been in a long time and you don't have one, I want you to consider Foley Dental Group. I want you to think about what you're looking for in a dentist. And chances are you want fantastic dental health care, obviously, but you also want to do it in a warm, welcoming, comfortable environment. Checks all the boxes at Foley Dental Group. They have a bunch of dentists there. The ability to get in and get an appointment and get it scheduled quickly is very much so in your favor. And their entire new building, brand new shiny building at 270 and 159 in Maryville is waiting for you. Whatever your concern is, if you just feel like you really need to get your teeth clean, you can go to Foley Dental Group and get in and get a great cleaning and a great experience. If you have pain in your mouth, don't suffer with that pain any longer than you already have. Call Foley Dental Group. They'll get you in and they'll get it taken care of for you. If you're looking for somebody who can provide you that whole health approach with your dental care visit and copay, Foley Dental Group can get you in and get you going right away. Call them at 618-288-9670. 618-288-9670. You can find them online at foleydentalgroup.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Shows that make a difference. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon and Dana Lash, Heidi Harris, Wiggins America. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
They were sitting on the strawberry swing. Every moment was so precious.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Boom, gone. Song over. What
Get
happened
that
there?
out of here.
Man. Is that Coldplay?
I don't know. It was 40 seconds.
We were just about to find out. Was that John Huntsman?
It's probably John Huntsman.
Anyway.
Coldplay called and said, nope, you cannot play that song.
We Carl
said,
Malone.
okay.
Yikes. Carl Malone. 14 things we buy and almost never use. Online subscriptions. Do you have any online subscriptions that you don't use?
I don't think I do. I have lots of subscriptions to streaming services and stuff, but I don't think I have any online.
Premium TV services let you stream endless entertainment programming. Genealogy sites help you make a family tree. Alumni sites help you reunite with classmates. Easy to get out a credit card and sign up. How quickly do you spring, especially with a 7-day free trial?
Oh man, I'm watching it and hitting it at 7 days every time. But I did just remember that I do have a Google Suite account that I have had for years, and it's $6 a month. And I'm always like, I need to cancel that.
You should cancel it right now.
And I never do.
You should cancel it right now.
On the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you have to walk us through it.
Well, you know what we should cancel is that Coldplay subscription.
Yeah, well, we did.
That's actually the free trial.
Oh, is that what that was?
The free trial. Yeah, leave you wanting some more. What about you, Brad? Online subscriptions? Do you have streaming services that you don't use right now?
I do. Well, I don't want to say streaming subscriptions. There are people that I'm subscribed to on Twitch that their channel airs while I'm on the air, so I can't actually watch their show.
Do you like supporting them?
Mm-hmm. I think that they make good content. They make me laugh, which is why I haven't canceled their subscriptions.
How much is it? Like $3 or something?
Yeah, it's like $5 a month.
Yeah. I mean, that goes a long way.
Well, it adds up.
Yeah, there are several YouTube creators. Well, I guess right now I only subscribe to one YouTube creator, and he does Disney World stuff he does daily Disney World content or travel content, but it's probably 70% Disney World. And I think I give him like $8 or $10 a month or something. But if I am going to Florida, I can watch him and know what's going on. And that's super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really busting his butt out there as a YouTube creator. I think a lot of people are super like looking down their noses at YouTube creators because they don't think it's a real job. It's just absolutely a real job. I mean, we are YouTube creators here on the Andy Frey Show.
Mm-hmm.
And, I potentially, when I get canned from here someday, might need to make a living on YouTube or wherever it might be at the time. But I think it's valuable. And I have really shifted into trying to financially support content that I care about. Because it's really easy to consume a lot of things right now for free. And then it doesn't do what you want, or you don't like how often they're doing it or not doing it. And then you get grouchy and it's like, it doesn't cost anything. I mean, like if you're listening to us on the radio right now, we are a button push away and we are no longer your problem. Don't push that button.
We're also free.
We're free. That's right. Thank you for listening to the commercials on this station.
Yeah.
Online subscriptions are something that I work really hard to try to pare down, but it's difficult because if it's $3 here, $4 there, sometimes they kind of pile up and you don't really realize, I'm paying $75 in subscriptions to things I don't really need. Extended warranties. Are you an extended warranty guy?
No. Never, ever.
We are.
I was going to trash them, but
no, go ahead.
I'm listening.
No, go ahead. I bet more people are.
You forget you have them, and so you never use them.
You got to put it in your calendar.
You got to, it's something else you have to remember if you are going to use it, and it's just brain space I don't want to take.
My husband sold appliances at Sears, and he left, and the whole place closed. Just kidding. Not really. He sold appliances when he went back to school to be a teacher, and the more computers are involved in these things that you invest in his opinion, the more valuable a warranty can be, because the computers make the thing cost more. The stuff doesn't last nearly as long as it used to, but it's expensive to have a washer and dryer go out. It's expensive to have a dishwasher go out. It's expensive to have a fridge go out. I mean, and all of these things, they all can be smart. And the more computers get involved, and I say the same thing about vehicles, the more on a case-by-case basis, we will consider buying the warranty.
With a big item, I do understand, like a car or a refrigerator, something like that, and the computer thing makes sense. But then what you have to do, and the only time I've ever done this, I haven't done it in a long time because I just never used them, is you print out the warranty and you just tape it to the back of the thing. So if it ever goes out, you know exactly where it is. You don't have to think about it, but you know it's there.
Yeah, we have a digital file.
Oh, a digital file,
Yeah.
huh?
What if the
That's not fancy. That's like 1998
What if the
development.
app goes out?
I was gonna say, what if
The
your
internet?
computer goes out?
Then we have other problems.
What if your computer goes out and you can't access it? Do you have an extended warranty on your computer?
I do.
See,
I have Apple Care, which is what I would consider to be a warranty.
Yeah, to me, that money is better invested, put it into the bank, and then you have the funds there if it does go out and you need to get a new one.
It's not the way it works when you have 4 kids. That money doesn't sit there and wait to be used.
I was gonna say
the kids keep wanting to eat. It's obnoxious.
He's applying scratch-off logic to the warranty.
Scratch-off logic. It is. It's scratch. You're gambling. What you're doing is you're betting that this won't go out and I will actually take advantage of it and it won't just be money down the drain. Because it's like a gift card. Whenever you get a gift card can only be used for where that gift card is honored. So what you've done is you've taken that money and you put it in a certain spot.
Yeah, but a gift card is worth what you invest in it. A warranty can be worth a whole lot more.
Or nothing at all.
Or nothing.
True.
It's a gamble.
Correct.
Which is why I don't gamble on it.
He doesn't gamble at all.
It's a gamble not to have it.
Do you own any stocks, Brad?
Yes.
God dang it.
Oh, then now who's gambling?
No, I don't have any stocks. Well, maybe I do. I have mutual funds, so I guess that means I have stocks.
Yeah, well, you're spreading out your risk, but
You're
are you looking
minimizing
up?
your
Are you
risk.
looking up your stock?
I still can't do it.
Are you a gajillionaire now?
With one stock?
I have
That'd be impressive.
$150. I'm trying to buy one freaking stock of Disney.
One share.
One share. I keep saying stock. I
One
don't even know
stock.
how to use the word.
I just want the one
I
stock.
started the show saying there are things I know and there are things I don't know. You be the judge of where that line is.
One share. You have spent more time on that one share, and you still don't even own it.
No, I don't.
That's what's funny.
But I think it would.
And you're
Hold on a
watching
second.
it every day, so you can buy one share of it.
I'm trying to buy it at under $100. It is $99.21. It was as low as $97 earlier.
Has,
It's
has your
ooh.
money showed up in your account yet today?
Have
you tried yet today?
I verified my checking account. It says I put $150 in here. I got a phone call from E-Trade 10 minutes before the show started.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I'm like, I can't talk right now. And he's like, when would be a good time? And I was like, I do not want to do this, but I'm trying to learn. So I will participate. So I think I'll have a phone call after the show. And I'm gonna be like, "Where's my money?"
We're gonna look for an
Show
update on
me
this.
the money.
They're
Allow me
troubleshooting-
to purchase this stock.
Yeah, they're troubleshooting you having $150 to trade
I'm gonna
with.
say I've been trying live on the air to buy a stock of Disney, and he'll be like, "Ma'am, do you mean a share?" I'm like, "No, I want a stock."
I want a whole
It's
stock,
$150.
not just a share of one.
It's $150, and they're probably calling you because they believe that you forgot a couple zeros on that.
14 things we buy and almost never use. A filing cabinet.
I use a filing cabinet.
I used to have one. It's not worth it. I never look through that filing cabinet. Take pictures of your documents and save them in a special place.
Oh no, you're a 21st century digital girl. I am using a file cabinet till I die, printing everything out.
It's exactly what a Fed would do.
That's it. Hey, you know what?
Expensive.
You are.
Expensive home exercise equipment. Do you have exercise equipment in your house?
Yes.
Do you use it?
Yes.
You do.
I do now that I have diabetes. Yes, I do. And I'm looking to get another one for that reason. I want to use them more.
At the same time?
If I can put one leg on the bike and one leg on the treadmill and
On the
make that
rower?
work, I'll do it.
What about
get you a Peloton
Do you
rower.
have home exercise equipment?
I don't. I don't have any room for it.
I have a treadmill. I use the treadmill.
If you're
Not as
looking
much
to
as
get
I
rid of
should.
it, I know somebody who's looking.
I'm not.
Okay.
Silly baby care stuff. Man, let me tell you about the amount of money you can spend on things for your baby that if they're useful, they're probably, I mean, in the first year of life, you will spend lots of money on things that are good for 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
As soon as they start moving around, like basically between 3 months and 5 months, depending on the kid, if they can start scooting or crawling, everything in the first 3 months is pretty much useless after they start moving around. Then you have to really recalibrate it. But man, there's a whole industry trying to take your money because making you think you need all the things I remember when I had Charlie and had to go through, I went through the birthing class and they kind of included a parenting class in it. But it was talking about the importance of where you allow a child to sleep and where you don't allow a baby to sleep. If you don't have a crib, like they were talking about, if you can't afford a crib, that it's better to put a baby, they said, take a drawer out of a dresser and lay like the mattress or like a mattress of sorts in the bottom of it and put the baby in the drawer
like
in
Kramer.
your room.
And then close
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah. No, you don't close the drawer,
you don't.
Brad.
Okay.
Who has kids here and who doesn't?
The crying's just not as loud if you
That's
just
No.
But you can get a lot of that stuff used, and yours is probably hand-me-down at this point, so that's good, right?
I everything that we have for our kids, save car seats because the time passed was I passed down through all my kids. And the thing with Charlie is I've told the story before, I haven't told in a while, but when I was pregnant with my son, my firstborn, my husband was really stubbornly not wanting to find out the gender, which I kind of don't even understand that still, why he was so adamant, because I really needed to find out the gender because I was miserable and I needed to personify this burden that I was carrying because I was sick every day and I felt awful. And it was a very difficult thing to go through, especially the first time. I was miserable through all the other pregnancies, but I just got used to it and cynical and in some cases funnier through the strife. Ask my husband, he probably disagrees.
She hates her life, but man, is she a blast to be around.
Not when I was pregnant. No, I'm the worst. But I really needed to know what I was having. So we agreed that I would find out and I wouldn't tell him. So I knew at the 18-week ultrasound that I was having a boy, and I just didn't tell him or anybody. And he knew that I knew, and he didn't ask.
Wow.
And we made it the whole way, and he didn't know what it was. But when you're shopping for baby things for the first time ever, as exciting new parents to be, we had to pick all neutral crap because I couldn't pick anything that was specific to the kid. So he got to pick everything, and it was all like green and brown. It's sad. At least it was a boy, and it was green and brown. Because that's kind of super sad for a girl.
Baby Merlin magic sleep suit.
Anyway, number 6, cookbooks. You use cookbooks?
No, I don't cook.
No.
I use cookbooks, but I use like specific cookbooks. When my grandma passed away in September of 2020, one of the things that I ended up buying it off of our auction, and we got to take things, but there's a big family, so everybody was kind of taking a little bit here and a little bit there. And I was very close to my grandma, and she had a whole bunch of cookbooks. And then I was, when everybody had gone through what they wanted and they put everything on the estate sale, I saw all of her cookbooks there. I'm like, I want those. So I bought all of her cookbooks. And those are really the only ones that I go through. And the Paula Deen cookbook. I have this. Did you like those snickerdoodles I made for Christmas?
I think so. I don't really remember. We had a lot of cookies that day.
Yeah, we did. Speaking of, they're Paula Deen snickerdoodles. Gym memberships.
Nope. I work out in my basement on my bike.
I absolutely have a gym membership.
Have you had a gym membership that you didn't use?
During COVID.
That's everybody. Planners and journals. You buy planners and journals? I'm way over planners and journals.
Not anymore. We used to have
right
the fridge magnet calendar, and we used to use that for everything, but we have moved digital for that. Mainly because my wife did. I'm always resistant to move digital, but we did do it.
Yeah, you just started doing online checking.
Mm-hmm.
Single-use appliances. This is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need like a specific kind of sandwich maker.
I'm really glad that you said that because I was that close to buying you a birthday gift. You know, I shop all year. So if I see something that is relevant to a person, I'll pick it up. I was that close to buying you a Mickey Mouse pancake or waffle maker.
I have a Mickey Mouse waffle maker.
I'm glad I didn't get it. For multiple reasons.
I have a Mickey waffle maker. It makes 6 of them at a time.
Oh, this one only made 2. So you would have been downgraded and had a useless appliance, which apparently you already have.
I also have a Mickey Mouse toaster that toasts a Mickey Mouse, like just the ears in the circle in the bread.
Toast.
Yeah. You can get Star Wars ones too. I think it's like Darth Vader or something. I don't know. But how many, like a cotton candy cart, a popcorn maker, a cake pop maker, a donut maker, a hot dog toaster.
I had a hot dog roller for a long time. I wanted to use that, but it just sat there.
Not making hot dogs.
Not making hot dogs. It would warm the buns for you.
They turn your living room into a gas station.
I kind of want to do that. Like make it into a carnival, just cotton candy and
travel accessories. Someone who likes taking long summer trips and smaller trips through the year, I can tell you that airfare and lodging are quite enough to tap your vacation savings account. No need for fancy passport covers, money belts, packing cubes, and all of that. I'm a packing cube believer.
For vacation? Packing cube? I don't know.
No,
what is
for
that?
Tuesdays.
But what is a packing cube in your?
I think that should have been your first question.
I'm curious as well.
Not the usage of, but what is?
Well, we have those shelves that have those cubes that come out. I would have thought
that's
that was
what I
a
bring.
packing
That's
cube.
how I pack for Disney.
What is a packing cube then? What is it? Tell me, Annie Frey. What pray tell is a packing cube?
We call them suitcases.
I have my
that is
color
not what you call it.
coordinated cube bins that comes in the little shelf where they all fit so cute in there, man. No,
Still open on top.
a packing cube is a cube zips open and zips shut, you can put all of one thing, or you can organize your suitcase with these cubes. So they're generally made to be like suitcase size or compartmentalized so that you could put in your suitcase smaller, zippable, closable cubes. So like, for instance, if we were going to Disney World, which we will pack fans for the park or sunscreen or cooling towels, like that type of accessories, you can pack them all in there and not just throw everything in a suitcase that when you open, you're like, ooh, you kind of open it and go, and what's going to happen when I open it? Or if you're packing clothes and you want to separate, kiddos' socks and underwear or swimsuits or something, you can organize in the suitcase. Then when you open it up, you just take those cubes out and put them wherever you want, as opposed to having a whole explosion of a suitcase when you open it.
Why don't you just put them in a plastic bag?
Anyway.
It's unnecessary. I agree with the list. That is unnecessary.
It sounds like it makes it easier to pack and unpack because
and repack.
like if you're going to stay at a place, you don't want to live out of your suitcase, so you can take these cubes out and set them in the drawers or wherever.
The fact that Ryan thinks it's a dumb idea makes me even more confident that I should continue using them. Number 11, souvenirs. Things we buy and almost never use.
Agreed. Completely agreed.
Unless it's a broom.
Well, that
from
was
Harry Potter.
Hey, that was with his own money.
Yeah.
He had to spend his money on that.
Number 12, over-the-top camping equipment. Are either of you campers? I'm not a camper.
No, I don't like buying over-the-top camping equipment. Therefore, I don't like camping.
It's a lot of work to live that basic.
I was going to say, I have a house. Why would I live in the dirt?
Specialized sports equipment.
Not living there.
Sleep in the dirt.
That's what
I don't
camping
care.
is.
Specialized sports equipment. I think that kind of depends.
It depends on what you need and what you're doing.
Last one, frivolous pet purchases. I think of all of the people in this room, the person most likely to make a frivolous pet purchase is Brad.
Oh, I have.
My
dog has a gold chain, but it's also a collar. But it's a gold.
Is it like a bling-in chain?
Oh
or
yeah,
is it
it's a Cuban link chain.
I'm not going to ask what that is. I got burned last time I asked about what something was. I'm not going to ask what that is.
Packing cubes?
Yeah, I got burned on that. I got burned on that bad. And I've learned my lesson. I'm a smart man.
Just a reminder, this is the free trial version of this song.
An advanced Fed would have known the answer to that. Hurry up, we got to go to a break. If you know, you know. We got 29 seconds of this Coldplay song.
I want to hear it stop.
No, we're not doing that again. It was terrible. We'll be right back with the results of the YouTube live chat poll.
Everyone here knows Diamonds Direct is the place to go for the best diamonds at the best prices. But did you know that savvy buyers from all over America, even Los Angeles and New York, now come here to buy their diamonds? These high-end shoppers have discovered that Diamonds Direct has one of America's best selections of large, rare diamonds, from 3 carats to 20 carats, all certified by the GIA, the most reputable and most trusted gem lab in the world. Because of Diamonds Direct's international connections and tremendous buying power, we're one of only a handful of jewelry stores in America that is able to offer a large selection of rare and precious GIA diamonds. In fact, Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection includes a stunning array of high-end Riviera necklaces, 20-carat tennis bracelets, and an extraordinary collection of rare, precious gemstones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and even the really hard-to-find fancy yellow diamonds. Come see why Diamonds Direct right here is the destination for high-end shoppers all over America. Extraordinary selection, quality, and unmatched value. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. DiamondsDirect.com.
Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, going to have another Protecting Your Retirement educational event, the first one of 2023. Have you signed up yet? I want to make sure that I get a chance to meet you. So please, please, please call this number and get there before 6:30 when it starts. That's when the event starts. I'll be there at 6 o'clock. And I want you to be able to sit down, get comfortable, grab some snacks. They're snacks. It's all free, snacks and drinks. And I would love the opportunity to meet you before this event kicks off. He says 45 minutes. It's not a long time there at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m., like I said, when this event begins. You're going to learn about how he has provided a worry-free retirement for so many people just like you in St. Louis, listeners to this station, to this show, and you get to sit there and you get to listen to it for free and then make a decision for yourself. You know what's best for you. Take this opportunity to listen to what he has to say, and then make a decision afterwards. Come to the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, January 24th, and meet myself, Mark Cox, Mark Reardon. We'll all be there, and we can't wait to say hi to you. Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, or Online at retirementkey.com.
Congress has authorized trillions in new spending, along with doubling the size of the IRS agency in just the last few months. Do you think that is by accident? No, it is with a purpose, to go after small businesses, employees, and individuals who have not filed or paid their taxes. If this is you, don't panic, just call. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Interest and penalties on your tax bill won't stop until you take control. Call me, Lance Drury. I'll tell you in advance an affordable fee, which includes costs and expenses that works for your business and family. Your first visit to the Lance Drury Law Firm is free and confidential, so you have nothing to lose. Call me today. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The warmth of your furnace, the coziness of your gas fireplace, warm cookies from the oven, and a hot shower after a long day. This winter, take time to appreciate the gas that powers your home. Gas is flammable and can become dangerous if there's a leak. This message from the Missouri Association of Natural Gas Operators.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Make sure you're heating your home safely this winter with a heating system check. And for all other heating services, repairs, or if you need a new heating or HVAC system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
State Senator Bill Eigel has a new bill to lower the personal property tax rate in the state. He joins me Thursday afternoon.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Come with me now. Come with me now.
How much of this song do we want to listen to?
3 minutes.
We get 3 minutes on this
3
one.
minutes and 4 seconds of this one?
Yeah, this is the paid version.
Let's just keep going until they all stop.
For me, at least this one's going to fade out like the song ended.
Well, that's fine, but we all want to find that out together.
Just like last time, where we, along with St. Louis, found out together.
Surprise!
Maybe it's just a 40-second song.
Hannah is in studio with us now. Hi, Hannah.
Hello.
The YouTube live chat poll today in 2024, Trump or someone else? Brad, you said someone else.
Yes, someone else.
I don't think you said yet, right, Ryan, did you?
I didn't. I am going to, as a jockey, stick with the old horse until I see that he's not winning anymore. So I'm going to stick with Trump.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with Trump.
You investigating a crime ring at the track?
I'm not doing any of such thing. I am just telling you the answer to the YouTube poll, which is Trump or someone else. I'll stick with the man for now and see what happens in the primary.
That's what you want to happen.
I don't know yet. I'm open. I'm listening. I'm a
That's baloney.
I'm
That's
listening
such
to all
baloney
anybody
sausage.
who comes along.
No, you are like Mr. wants to make predictions about things all the time, and you're waffling because you don't want to be wrong.
Who knows?
Am I right, Brad?
You're absolutely like, and not only
Call
that,
him out.
He
Fed,
likes
fed.
He likes to take things that everybody already knows happening, and then he's like, called it.
Guess what, guys?
Hey, look, I can tell you.
He's gonna do Wiggins America tomorrow. He's gonna predict that John Bolton's gonna run for president.
I was gonna say, I thought about this in this Wiggins America because he's like, hey, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but Ron DeSantis probably running for president.
I can feel the sands shifting, and I just want to be ahead of it.
Ryan, sometimes you come in this and
Go
you
ahead.
say you make some predictions, and it's like literally what we've been talking about all week.
Like what? Like what? Tell me.
What was the last one he did?
He does it every day.
It's because he's trying to blend in.
I just want friends. Is that such a bad thing?
We're your friends. That's why we're telling you.
I just want to be friends with everybody. And one way to do that is to say what other people already say.
Yeah, but you present it as if you just came up with it.
It's a brilliant idea that no one's ever heard before.
I'm waiting on an example.
Right,
I'm sitting here. I'm open to the idea, just like open to the idea of
You just want to listen
Trump.
to what we say so you can tell us after the show that you've had a thought.
You do whatever you want. Do whatever. I'm just saying, If you can't produce the goods, then maybe what you're saying is all projection.
Oh.
Projection.
Produce the goods.
Okay, so
Maybe.
you voted in the poll for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
No, but casually.
Yeah, it was just like a light tap. It was like a beep boop.
You know what we should do? Let's Brad, you and I, let's manufacture some sort of thought or idea.
And Ryan,
we'll talk about it on the air for a few days. Then we'll wait and just completely make something up. And then Ryan will come in and be like, guys,
we can't say that while he's in the room.
I've been thinking about something.
He's going to be thinking that about every topic we talk about.
I think
we'll see how good of a Fed he actually is.
Regardless of what you guys are going to decide to do, I think that you guys should manufacture some thought and try to send it to me. and we'll just see. I mean, this is a pretty good idea I'm having.
Did it just come to you, did it?
It did.
Popped into your brain.
It went beep boop.
I don't even know what that means.
Amy, what are your thoughts on the YouTube poll today?
Someone else. I don't think Trump is going to stay, and I don't think he's going to get beat. I think it's going to be his decision, and it's going to be someone else.
Back out. I voted someone else, and I think it's going to be Ron DeSantis. I like how open the poll question is today. It's just asking Trump or someone else.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways I could have confined it, but I chose not to. So
Yeah.
Curious what people are saying.
We have a comment that came in from Joe from YouTube. He said, I know exactly how this poll will go. There's a mathematical equation to predict it. It will be 75% someone else and 25% Trump. 50% are never Trumpers, and the conservative vote is split 25 to 25. Let's see how correct you are,
Brian,
Joe.
you have any thoughts?
Can you pull that back up?
No, I think he's right, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 25% of people who are never Trump and 25% of people who, was that right? How he said it? 25% of people who are always Trump, and then 50% in the middle who split between someone else and a conservative. So I think that's a good assessment. I'm interested to see what the results are.
All right. The results of the YouTube poll that is asking in 2024, Trump or someone else. 70% of the people said someone else. 30% of the people said Trump.
Joe.
There you go.
You want a job?
Oh, all those people are voting for Biden is what they're saying? Oh, I hate to hear that.
That's actually the breakdown of this room. 75% of this room said it would be somebody else.
Why do you think that they're saying Biden?
I'm projecting like you were doing onto me.
Huh?
Oh, boy.
I know they're not actually saying Biden. It was a joke. They're saying anybody but Trump. And I'm like, oh, you're all Biden voters.
That's not what they're saying. That's
I have-
what we're
I have
saying.
concluded
Ryan.
that is not actually what they're saying.
You're right. It's just only on one of those points because they can't simultaneously be correct.
G-Wib says that's exactly what Wiggins predicted, and I think you could apply that to basically any situation.
Yeah, especially when it's after it happens. Let's take a break and hand it over to the Mark Reardon Show. Please subscribe to us on the YouTube channel and listen to the Annie Frey Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. Don't go away.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board,